place beyond breathtaking, where towering green cathedrals waltz between the heavens and terra firma. This is more than a competition. It's an exchange in a timeless collaboration, where dreams and determination are mixed with basalt, schist and granite. The combination equaling more than the sum of their parts. Welcome to Tahuna, Queenstown, Aotearoa, New Zealand. A place where the rider is the muse and the artist is Mother Nature herself. This is the confluence between chaos and creation. This is Natural Selection Bike.
Welcome to the Wakatipu Basin. It is a paradise, but especially for those of a two-wheeled persuasion. Glorious scenic rides, lazy flow trails, downhill so hectic you could be at a Moroccan souk, and the biggest public jumps in the world. And now you can add to that list one of the most spectacular mountain bike venues you will find anywhere in the world. Welcome to the first ever Natural Selection Bike. I'm very pleased to say, joining me in the studio as ever, we have the great and the good of mountain biking. Sat right next to me here, a woman who is to bikes what Elton John is to pianos, except without the tantrums. A virtuoso and a precision bike rider. Pleasure to have you here, Keilani.
Thank you. I love that intro. I'm so excited to be here next to you guys to watch some bikes.
And then the man over here, Cam McCall, he's watched more people ride bikes than an Amsterdam cafe owner, but he's also pretty handy on a bike himself, I've got to say. Cam, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited that we find ourselves here in this moment right now. Our sport has existed for over 20 years of free ride competitions. We have an opportunity today to experiment, try something new, and to be included in the conversation with these other sports that we look up to and we draw inspiration from here with Natural Selection Tour. This is an exciting day, and I'm excited to show the world what this competition's all about.
Yeah, well, Cam said it there. This is Natural Selection Bike, but alongside the bike, you probably found Natural Selection through the snowboarding event. That's been running for 4 years, but just over a month ago, we ran Natural Selection Surf in Micronesia. That was the first of the three-sport expansion. Welcome to any of the surfers who've cross-pollinated across here to bike. The snowboard contest will go down in just under a week's time. 10th to the 17th of March is the live window. 2 days of competition, broadcast live from Revelstoke in British Columbia, and then it's up to Alaska on April the 17th for Natural Selection Ski. Those guys have been looking over the fence for the last 4 years with green eyes. Finally, they have their own event in the big daddy of locations in Alaska. If you want to follow us and all of the action, you can do it on all of the social channels, Natural Selection Snow, Bike, Ski and Surf. We'll see you there. You can also find us on YouTube. Now, back to the bike contest though. Full disclosure, Cam and I were at the bike event on the day. I've purposely tried to forget about it, but Keilani, you had a self-imposed blackout on all of the media. How successful was it?
I tried. I did see clips, but I don't know who won, either the men or women, so I'm very excited to watch all the action go down and find out.
And what that creates is I'm excited to watch your reactions to this competition as well as just show it to all the people who they maybe know the results and they've seen some clips, but nobody's watched top to bottom runs on this course yet.
You've been involved in this from the very beginning though, Cam, and I think it's fair to say a lot of people's questions when Natural Selection first came into all of the other sports was, how is this going to be different to all the existing bike competitions? How do you answer that?
for us, how this is different from all the other competitions, because we have some great competitions out there, but I feel like this one is very true to why we ride mountain bikes. Slopestyle, a lot of dirt jumping. Rampage, it's a one-of-a-kind anomaly, and it's not similar to what people do, but these are two of the most technical and exciting trails to ever be built on our planet. And this format is going to cater to riders who have a very broad skill set and who can be consistent. You have to link together these trickable features with sections of trail, and you got to trick those features as well. And it's going to be fun to be able to show what these riders did.
Okay, we're going to get into detail in all of those elements, the judging, the criteria, the format, in very short time. But first, we're going to take a look at the weather up on Mt Dewar above this spectacular venue. So you got 25 degrees, temperature's not quite there yet. This shot was taken in the morning, 9 miles an hour or 14 kilometers an hour of wind. That's what it gusts up to, but the windsock tells a different story there. As Cam said, we've got a very different format. We've got very different judging criteria, which incentivize the riders in different ways. Let's take a closer look at it now. Credo is the acronym we use. Each of these 5 criteria carry equal weight, but the first 2 are key there. Creativity and risk. We're looking to incentivize the riders to get as creative as possible and progress their riding. If they're laying up, then they're definitely going to get marked down. So we've seen the format, we've seen a little bit of the judging criteria, but the star of the show always at Natural Selection is the course, and it is no exception here in Tahuna, Queenstown. Let's take a little bit of a closer look into how it was built. So on the left-hand side, Luca's left-hand side here, you can see key tide. This means from the mountain. And that red line is a much faster, longer line. And then you've got 2 other lines on the Luca's right-hand side. They split midway down and a little bit more technical there. And we can take a closer look now at how this course was built by the Elevate Trails crew.
Finding this location was 2.5 years in the making, athlete driven with Carson and Casey and Reed and Robin. Where can we go to find natural terrain?
It's steep and then it kind of fades out and gets super rolly.
Oh, this is so cool.
Wow.
This seems to be the one that's rising to the top. So I think we should put our energy this direction and go for it. And that's really what the heart of natural selection is. It's, you know, Mother Nature's kind of our main character here. We're not trying to force something on it. And I've worked with build crews and different people throughout my entire career, but I've never worked with a crew that's like, they wanted to do the best. New Zealand is their home, Queenstown's their home. So they've been up there 24/7 for 2.5 months now.
All of them amazing riders and amazing builders. So that combination has worked really, really well for us. They knew what they were building they would have to ride, because part of what we do, we test everything we ride.
Yeah, boy.
It's a goodie. That time I had to pick the drop rather than the view to focus on.
This course 100% is Queenstown, New Zealand. Everything about it is just natural undulating terrain. Rocks in all the right places, downslopes in all the right places. Man, I'm so proud of the team of what they've created.
The build is incredible. Yeah. This looks insane.
Look at that masterpiece.
These 2 look fun. Whoa. I just see the most beautiful jumps I think I've ever seen in my entire life right in front of me. It's like actually unreal.
Oh my God, look at how blind the step down is. Love it. That's where the orcs come from, they're over there.
The dig team has absolutely crushed this build. It is so beautiful. It's like a work of art on this mountain.
Wow, I absolutely love seeing Matt Begg on camera there. Keilani, first impressions of the course, what do you make of it?
Oh my God, I don't even know. Like every time I look at the course, there's a new feature, there's a new jump that I didn't notice before. So for me, I'm just excited to finally see riders put top to bottoms and put those together.
It's great to hear you say that, actually, because that is echoing the experience from the riders. They get up there to learn not only one line, but to learn the whole venue, and they were experiencing that same thing. They thought they had it all figured out, and then they realized, I forgot about that whole section. Right. And a lot of these sections have blind takeoffs, so it requires so much memorization.
Well, there's a really good fact as well. I think there's 14 features on the Kiuta from the mountain, and then there's 12 features on Kitai. So 26 features in total. If you've ever tried to count a pack of cards, learning those features is like trying to remember half a pack of cards in an insanely dangerous situation at the same time. The consequences are so high. We talked about the judging criteria as well, Credo. How do you think that's going to affect the way the athletes ride?
Yeah, there's the judging criteria and the athlete format, and they both interact to create this unique event that we have. But the criteria for the judges in particular, my favorite standout about Credo is that the fine print of that is there aren't set point deductions for small bobbles, say a foot slip. There aren't set point deductions for a crash. A lot of events have that. If you crash, immediately that's 10 points off your score. What that means is with these long runs and the fact that you need 2 runs and it's your combined score, you can have an issue and get back up and continue your run and potentially have a decent enough score to build upon.
How do you think it will change for the riders?
Well, I think it being new, it's going to be challenging for all of the riders, which is also exciting. But I like what you said. It's really, they have to look at it more as like a missed opportunity than throwing a runaway, where a lot of these free ride competitions, if you crash or you put a foot down, you're kind of over, right?
It is a massive shift, isn't it? And I've watched the snowboarders struggle with that over the years, but it definitely plays a part. Let's see how the riders get on with it today. First, though, we're going to chuck over. You've met Cam and Keilani. Let's meet the 4th member of our team. He was on site in New Zealand. It's Damon Iwanaga.
Thanks, guys. We're out here in New Zealand, Natural Selection Tour, inaugural event for the bike side. It's been awesome because it's a little bit different format than what we're used to in the bike world. We have a Dream Ticket qualifier this year, which has allowed some new faces like Kirsten Van Horne and Finley Kirschenmann. We do have our seasoned vets, Carson Storch, Hannah Bergemann. They've been riding amazing all week. But personally, I've been really stoked on Szymon Godziek and Johny Salido. They've just been riding so good, tricking so many of the jumps out there. If you watch them during practice, you might think that they were doing a contest run after run. So finals are coming up. I cannot wait to see what they put down today.
I love that. Damon putting his cards on the table straight away with Szymon Godziek and Johny Salido. Who stands out to you off the women's start list?
I mean, I love all of these girls and them as riders, but I think it's going to be Cami Nogueira. I mean, she is kind of a veteran now. I mean, she's a 2-time Proving Grounds champion, so excited to see her run.
You think this course will suit her?
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
What about the men, Cam?
You got to look at these riders who have a long history with Red Bull Rampage. Those are the riders who are going to be coming into this with all of the consistency needed to play well in this format, but you can't forget about some of those riders who earned their spot from the Dream Ticket as well. Finley Kirschenmann, that kid is on fire. He represents the future of what freeride mountain biking can look like, you know, coming from a dirt jump background with some slopestyle competition, but also a kid who loves throwing a leg over a trail bike and roosting berms. It's going to be fun to see how those different groups, the Rampage veterans, the young guns, and some of the riders like Louis Reboul, who also earned his invitation from Dream Ticket. This format suits him better than a slopestyle contest. Those days are behind them. So with this new format, we're really going to see who has the broad skill sets.
And it's exactly the same break in the women's, isn't it, Keilani?
Yeah, I mean, we have 2 girls that pre-qualified through Proving Grounds, and then we have 2 girls that qualified last chance at the Dream Track. So it's kind of a perfect split to sort of see the veterans and then the up-and-coming girls go head-to-head. So it's going to be exciting.
Okay, one of the things that is at the heart of natural selection always is sustainability. And alongside our official packaging partner, a New Earth project, we thought we'd give you a little geology lesson. We're going to pack 3.5 billion years of geology into just 2 minutes. This is how the stunning environment in New Zealand was formed.
New Zealand is part of the Ring of Fire, the Circum-Pacific seismic belt marked by frequent earthquakes and considerable volcanic activity. Here, the landscape is the result of active tectonic forces, with the Pacific and Australian plates in constant motion. This ongoing interaction causes volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and the rise of mountain ranges. Both islands of New Zealand are roughly bisected by mountains. The Southern Alps were formed by the collision of these plates. Some of the world's most stunning bear a chain of fold mountains stretching 480 kilometers long and composed of greywacke, a sandstone rock that's fossils tell the story of a past life under the sea. During the ice ages, glaciers carved out lake basins and valleys, eventually receding and leaving behind the rugged terrain that we see today. The Wakatipu Basin, where Mt Dewar is located, was deeply shaped by glacial activity. Surrounded by the Southern Alps, this varied terrain offers a world-class playground for mountain biking. Sharp mountain peaks, deep valleys, and rolling hills. The geological processes that created these mountains continue to shape the land, making it an ever-changing environment.
I'm an absolute geology and meteorology geek, so I love those pieces. Also, alongside, we said that sustainability was a core part of natural selection's principles, but alongside that is community. It's been at the heart of everything natural selection does since the very beginning, and it was no different when we travelled down to New Zealand. And we're very pleased to say that we were embraced by the Kaitahu people of Te Wāhi Pātiki, the South Island of New Zealand, from the very beginning. And they wanted to extend a warm welcome to the riders, to the crew, to the spectators on site, and also to you, the viewers. Enjoy.
E ka mau ka whakahi o te ao nau mai hara mai tauti mai rā. Roi na hokia, te koe o te wawana, e tau nei ana, ana,
A warm welcome is extended to you all by the people of Kaitahu. Welcome to our whenua. This is the ancestral home of Waitaha, Kati Māmoe and Kaitahu. These towering mountains and flowing rivers have shaped our stories for generations, standing as kaitiaki, guardians of this land. As riders take on these trails, they follow the paths of the winds, the waters and the people who have come before. To all competitors, supporters and viewers tuning in from around the world, embrace the challenge, respect the whenua and enjoy the ride. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Up at the top of Mt Dewar now, first rider in the gate, Finley Kirschenmann. Let's see what he's thinking.
Is it this side of my helmet that says "In Job Bender We Trust"? Job Bendy We Trust.
No, it must be the other side. Oh yeah, that side.
Oh, yeah.
Left side.
You gotta get this right here.
Have fun, dude.
Job Bender We Trust.
We'll see you down there.
Yeah, dude.
Get it.
This kid's got so much personality. You tell that right away when you start talking to him, but you can even first impression tell by just what he's choosing to wear and how he views a custom painted helmet. I feel like the tribute to Josh Bender on there, it's like Dumbo can't fly without his feather. He's got all of his favorite riders represented there in some way.
I absolutely love that he's got a Rastafarian frog on a tie-dye t-shirt as well. There's definitely a vibe there.
Total vibe.
He's the best.
Cam, tell us about this bike up the back.
Yeah, so Finley Kirschenmann is riding a Trek bike in his run here coming up. He will be the first rider to drop it. You can be riding a Trek bike as well. All you have to do is scan the QR code that's going to appear on screen. Ed is going to try to hoard that QR code because he wants to win the Trek/9. It's a long travel, 170 mil trail bike with a high pivot suspension, mixed wheel size, big wheel up front to smash over those bumps, little wheel in the back to get all maneuverable and really let that bike dance like Finley is about to when he drops into this course. To win that, somebody's got to win it. It might as well be you. You have to scan that QR code and enter. We will notify the winner via email. You can't win unless you enter. Scan the QR code.
I actually, full confession, I have the E version of that, and it is an absolute wonder bike.
Smart.
I'm as agricultural as riders get, but it makes me feel like I'm pretty good.
I'd call you a cheater, but I also have the E version of that bike. But I got this one too. It's you could ride it at this course. You know, that's what I like about this format, is that you will see Janelle Soukop, her bike is a trail bike. So this course can be ridden on a trail bike out of the box, which is exciting to have that in our sport.
Yeah, there's literally no excuses left. There's someone riding these trails on a 12-speed with a dropper post. So you got to get out there. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got another treat for you, and we'll get stuck into the first of the runs.
This seems to be the one that's rising to the top. So I think we should put our energy this direction and go for it. And that's really what the heart of natural selection is. It's, you know, Mother Nature's kind of our main character here. We're not trying to force something on it. And I've worked with build crews and different people throughout my entire career, but I've never worked with a crew that's like, they wanted to do the best. New Zealand is their home, Queenstown's their home. So they've been up there 24/7 for 2.5 months now.
All of them amazing riders and amazing builders. So that combination has worked really, really well for us. They knew what they were building they would have to ride, because part of what we do, we test everything we ride.
Yeah, boy.
It's a goodie. That time I had to pick the drop rather than the view to focus on.
This course 100% is Queenstown, New Zealand. Everything about it is just natural undulating terrain. Rocks in all the right places, downslopes in all the right places. Man, I'm so proud of the team of what they've created.
The build is incredible. This looks insane.
Look at that masterpiece.
These two look fun. Whoa! I just see the most beautiful jumps I think I've ever seen in my entire life right in front of me. It's like actually unreal.
Oh my god, look at how blind the step down is. Love it. That's where the orcs come from, they're over there.
The dig team has absolutely crushed this build. It is so beautiful. It's like a work of art on this mountain.
Welcome back to Aotearoa, New Zealand. We're up on Mt Dewar, which looks over Tahuna, Queenstown. You see the Wakatipu Lake just poking out between the gorge there. This is the first ever natural selection bike. And I promised you a treat. Joining us in the studio is a man who's made a career out of defying things. Gravity, physics, then medicine and age. Two-time Rampage winner, Cameron Zink. Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be hanging out with you lovely people out here, and then even more excited to watch the next evolution of the sport we love so much.
Well, you've been involved in this as a rider liaison from the very beginning. What do you make of it?
Well, it looks like what I would dream of if I had my pick for the video game of mountain biking, and I get to design my dream level for the end-all be-all. It looks like an AI rendition of what I would come up with. I mean, the most picturesque landscape and incredibly perfectly sculpted landscape of jumps. And it's the hybrid, right? It is a unique format to where we mix in the credo of natural selection, which we're all a fan of, even before mountain bike implementation. But then it's like big mountain lines are like big mountain lines. And then what we grew up in is slopestyle, where the intermittent areas between the jumps don't really matter at all. This is much more comprehensible to any mountain biker, to where the entire trail matters. And it is essentially the greatest trail ever created. I'm excited to watch it go down.
That's my favorite part about, you know, first riding events with you, but now watching events with you like we're going to do today, is you see something that I did not think about, but I totally know exactly where you're going with that. The video game thing, it's so true. If you were to design a video game, you'd have a couple really technical trails and you'd have to rip the corners, but you would also want your player to be able to do unthinkable stunts on the jumps. And that's what these riders have been working for the first 4 days of practice to be able to pull off. And we're going to get to view it together like we're watching a video game. And I know Keilani was able to media black out and not watch too much to spoil it. Were you able to do that as well?
I neglected it. Yeah, it's like if you're watching a Supercross race and so you're like, I can't even look at Instagram at all because I don't want to know. But yeah, I want to see it unfold with you guys and all the real reactions. I mean, no one's seen top to bottom runs, right? So, but I've been trying to neglect it all to where I don't know anything at all.
What are your impressions of top to bottom? Like, what have you pieced together so far?
Well, I mean, you brought up a good point. It is like the perfect combination of trail riding and then like slope style jumps. So for me, I'm just excited to see where people kind of excel and where people kind of struggle, and then putting that together and try to do a top to bottom run.
It needs a well-rounded rider, right?
Right, exactly.
And the nature of the sport of how it has progressed. Trails have gotten so much better, right? So these trails, this one isn't going to be that common anymore, but this is the next level. Maybe a trail like this will be publicly accessible because the talent pool just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
And I mean, what you've all said there is that it's relatable. As everyday mountain bikers, what you do most is ride a trail, and it can be the most basic one. But if you're judging yourself in your head on credo as you ride every trail, like
might as well. That'll be what people are doing. And who cares about Strava? I want my credo. What's my credo
You
score?
kind of do when you're riding with your friends, right? You know who's ripping. You know who you're trying to ride like. You're like on the tail of your buddy, and they slap into something in a way you never thought before. You know, those are the things that are going to be rewarded from the judges today.
100%.
Okay, we've talked about this trail quite a bit. Let's take a closer look now at the first line that we're going to be doing. So in the format, we've got the men riding Kiuta and Kitai, so from the mountain and to the sea. They're the two trails. We're going to kick off on Kiuta, though. This is that first red line that we saw. It's on the rider's right-hand side. Cam, talk us through this one.
Yeah, we're going to get a really good look at this line right now, and you're going to be able to kind of understand its characteristics. If you were to compare this to line 2, this one's bigger. This is the one with the larger features, and it's also really set up like a rhythm section, especially the first 3 straightaways. Right now you see a flat drop right into a long mandatory gap. There's a 90-degree hip jump, and then right here, this is one of the most prominent natural features. They carved a lip into a left-hand hip. And to make things rideable and connect to the bottom, they've constructed a big wooden drop. And once you get to this final straightaway, all the natural terrain is kind of in your rear view mirror from the top and the middle sections of the course. Now you're just into a straightaway with some really big jumps, with things finishing off, of course, with a Showtime booter. You want to put an exclamation point at the end of your run on that jump, while bearing in mind, you still got to get back up to the top of the course and do another run on another trail to add up your combined score.
And it looks fast, Cam.
100%. This trail looks incredibly fast, and the sections in between, we're going to get to see, it's going to separate a lot of riders, right? The bike selection comes into effect, right? You can ride a full downhill bike, and the setup of that bike could be more geared toward the downhill sections. Super important. It is equally as important to ride fast in between and show your overall bike skill as it is with those individual jumps and whatever trick you might be doing on those jumps.
Such a good point. I mean, Carson Storch is riding a downhill bike. He's riding not the shortened up Freeride version. And then you think of some other riders like Reboul, who is riding more of a slope style type of long travel trail bike hybrid. And that is a big part about it. Look out for Reed Boggs as well, because he has 2 bikes. There are 2 trails, and he's talking about using the one that's optimal for each trail, which is really interesting and maybe kind of a hint at things to come as we evolve this format.
We've never seen that before, right? I mean, even in snowboarding, you'd think that you got a quiver, right? And or surfing, you're going to pick a different board for that day. I had never even thought that would even become a possibility in one venue, in one specific genre of the sport.
And we mentioned it earlier, Kehlani, Kirsten Van Horne riding a 12-speed with a dropper.
I think that Janelle, right?
Is it Janelle? Right.
Yeah, the up and coming. I mean, she was running a trail bike with a dropper on Dream, and now she's here at Natural Selections. So, yeah, it's really cool, the diversity that you can see out there with the riders and the bikes.
That just speaks to how much bikes have evolved as well. The fact that we have a competition format that is pushing the limits of what's possible, but it's also in line with the way mountain biking is going and the bikes that are being developed for it, which is awesome.
Okay, that brings us on to a really nice point, the Industry Alliance. Now, in natural selection, we like to look after the brands that look after the riders. So the Industry Alliance is only for endemic bike brands. Looking after natural selection and the riders this year, we've got POC, our official protection partner. We're offering up back braces for any of the riders who want them, and they deliver some of the best Swedish levels of safety for mountain bike riders. We've also got Mons Royal in there, merino wool. I'm repping it today. It is the, I like to call it the business class of fabrics. Once you've tried it, you can't go back. You've got Outdoor Research in there as well. Adidas 510, some of the best shoes on the market. Then Yeti Cycles, Trek. You saw the bike that's being given away. Someone needs to win that today. And Specialized. But we're going to take a look now. We've talked about it a lot at the men's format. Now, it's slightly different between the men's and the women's. The men taking 2 runs. The women opted earlier on just to take 1 run. So for the men's, it breaks up a bit, Cam.
Yeah, you know, it just to speak about the women, in the spirit of adapting things to work the best with the given scenario that we find ourselves in, the women have made that decision, which is totally cool because that line that they're taking does have options. But for the men, the original idea for the format is being stuck to, which is 2 runs. Each run's taking place on a different line. Each run is scored out of a possible 50 points. It's a combined score, no throwaways, so max score is going to be 100. What that creates is a situation that we haven't seen before. Even if you're leading after run number 1, there's no victory laps. You still need to add to that score, and it will be dropped in reverse order, so highest score from run number 1 will be dropping last. There's no way that rider's going to be sitting in the hot seat when they're at the top of the course to drop that final run.
Okay, well, let's get stuck into the action. It's time now to take a look at natural selection bike. We're kicking off with the men's runs. We've got 11 riders, as Cam just said. They're on 2 different lines. Each run will be scored out of 50, so the total will be out of 100. And critically, as Cam said, a fall doesn't matter. So you need consistency. You need to get back up even if you fall and get that score on the board. Got some big names here. We heard Damon Iwanaga talking about Johny Salido, Talus Turk in there, Nicholi Rogatkin back on the big bike, Reed Boggs, the Rampage regular, Szymon Godziek also got a name check, the 2 Frenchies down there. I think Paul Couderc and Louis Reboul could really suit this course, and then Carson Storch as well. But this man came through as one of the standouts from the Dream Ticket qualifiers.
This qualifier is something we talked about from the get-go. Like, we really wanted to give a chance for everybody who's here ripping on Dream all the time to get into this event.
I just need your mom to sign another version of it.
Top 2 men, top 2 women, and then we'll take an alternate as well. And the top 2 privateers that don't have a bike sponsor are gonna get a frame from Zinc Bikes.
It's pretty cool that the locals can come be a part of what is going to be a huge event for New Zealand, let alone mountain biking itself.
Big on there. Yeah, the boy. Big back is
Best people, best riding, just best vibes. It's awesome.
Dropping and looking. Oh boy. Oh!
It was crazy just seeing there's more like hungry women out there than there was dudes this time. There's a lot of fresh faces here.
Kirsten Van Horne.
The Dream Ticket qualifier is super important, and we really need to continue to develop and nurture and get more young males and females involved in the sport so we can just keep this sport vital.
Rider number 6, Finley.
Give it up for your crew, your winners, your tickets.
It's gonna be insane. I'm super excited to have that opportunity and ride with some of the dudes that I've looked up to. It's a bit overwhelming, but in all the best ways.
Okay, that was the Dream Ticket qualifier. Now it is time for the main event. This is Natural Selection Bike from Tahuna, Queenstown. It is men's run 1 of 2. The first man in the gate was one of the standouts of that Dream Ticket qualifier, Finley Kirschenmann from Sandy in Utah.
All right, you ready, dude? Dude, I'm fucking on. Rider number 12, Finley Kirschenmann. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, bud.
This boy looks tan, rested, and ready.
I know, he was ready to get down.
I love the fact that he's the first rider to drop in for this thing.
This is just a moment in the sport, right? He is leading the charge for the next generation. We got a lot of friends out there, but I think I'm most excited to watch him ride. And that for that reason, right? Oh, look how natural the landings look, and just a giant 450 into that.
He's just so flowy, makes it look so easy. Oh my.
Oh, and then it just adds to it, right? Landing in a bunch of grass. And then right there, you can see, that was a good point. Right there, you can see that one more brake tap or one less brake tap, and he would have missed the landing.
Wow.
Tricking every feature in here.
Here's these in-between bits.
Yeah, he's keeping his flow through that, right? Little late crank.
Just so much style, wow.
Yeah, he's on point. You could say last second it looked like he grabbed a pedal when he wasn't planning on it and ended up landing right at the top of the landing. He is on it.
Little crank there.
Yeah.
He knows he needs speed for this big Sharky, right?
So big.
Full tuck.
Even bigger.
Look over. That jump looks like a bit of a stretch, huh?
Wow.
Kind of a rocker link seat stand.
Huge, that jump.
Into the Showtime booter. Oh, he has some of the best instruments you've got from the game. Oh. Oh, man.
What a bummer.
Such a bummer.
Right at the end.
Such a good flowy run.
Live by the style, die by the style. He wanted to extend that even though he knew he was coming up a little short.
Yeah. Full commitment.
If you think about how perfect that run was going, you're so close to getting an absolutely spotless run, and then that final jump just bites him.
Both of those hips, though, those landings aren't easy. You've got to find traction straight away.
Speaking of landings that aren't easy, like, I tell you what, nobody's doing that in practice. Nobody's tricking those things with actual rotations into those raw, natty landings.
He came in this with so much conviction, and I feel like that should honestly be one of the highest points on a judge's scale.
I agree.
I mean,
I agree.
This was just conviction to its T.
Yeah, the shisty knob getting some love there.
There's like an aggression. Look at this. This is out of the box.
That is so
cool.
seat stand.
Yep. So sick.
On a step down, too. I wonder what's going through his mind right here. I got this. I got this. I don't got this.
Might have been a hair of wind in that, huh? There might have, like...
Okay, let's hear from Dewan Iwanaga, who's with Finley now.
Finley, my dog. Dude, what a strong run. We had a little crash at the end, but how are we feeling otherwise?
Really good. It's been fun figuring out the course. It's something new for me, so happy to get down, and even though I made a small mistake, I'm okay, so that's all I'm happy for. Amazing, dude. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the score coming in. 35.6, so difficult to gauge against anyone else's, but at this stage, it doesn't feel, out of 50, it doesn't feel like he's been punished massively for that final fall.
It feels great. I'm incredibly stoked to see that. That would essentially average out to be a 70, right? Yep. So that's really amazing to see for the format.
Okay, next up at the top, one of Latin America's freeride pioneers, Holy Toledo. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Johny Salido.
I wonder if he's ever been to Toledo.
Johny Salido. 3, 2,
Get home, boys.
1.
This is a rider right here who does spend a lot of time riding downhill. He'll sign up for a few downhill races as well, but he's known to be a free rider with a lot of tricks. This is definitely right up his alley.
Laying up on that a little bit. Looks like he's got something bigger planned for the hip. Oh, there we go.
So good.
I love how you have to line up for that corner. It's not just landing in a rough landing, natural landing. Still got to line up for the corner.
You don't realize how rough these transitions are between these jumps.
Yeah, the FPV is imperative for sure, but yeah, with the other angles, you tend to see a lot more of the terrain.
Yeah.
That section's
Oh,
so
here we go.
fast. You're spending so little time on the ground.
It's kind of nice to get a little reset right there, right?
Yeah,
Because
little breather.
Yeah, for it's almost like if you had a breather in the middle of a race run. Huh?
Yeah.
It's pretty much all business as soon as you take off of this wooden flat drop here.
Oh, yeah.
Hard's going about
Look
180
how
right
big
here.
that is. Wow.
Oh,
Nice
nice Suey.
Suey.
Yeah, yeah.
Look how tiny he looks on that big jump.
Yeah, the scale is insane.
So
isn't it?
crazy.
A little bit loose there.
Looked like he was struggling for speed. Had to push through a little bit and got a little buck. Oh, what's he got for the Showtime booter?
I feel like he needs something.
He held it together. Complete.
This is going to give us such an interesting comparison now because you've got a couple of jumps there that he just didn't get full extension on or didn't fully commit to. But then you've got Finley Kirschenmann with a full. So
fairly similar run to Finley too, right? But obviously Finley is known as the style cat. He brought it all the way to the bottom, but then came up a little short. So yeah, really interested to see how this racks up.
Yeah, to see how the judges handle, you know, maybe a run with some more to it with Finley, but a crash at the end. And then, you know, all the way through the finish line here, maybe a little bit of extension left on the table from Johnny there. And it's going to be interesting to see how they score this, what number they assign to it.
Okay, 32.7. So not having that second flat 3 on the other hip, I think that was definitely an up. But yeah, the judges, we talked about it. All you're doing is missing an opportunity with a fall. You're not actually getting punished for falling.
That's a great way to sum it up. And it shows that they're rewarding a little more progression and a little more style and extension, a much better Superman seat grab extension. But still, Finley was higher in the score. This is really eye-opening and indicative of how the judges are rewarding this event and how it's judged, period.
Yeah.
Okay, Adolf Silva, the Spaniard out of Barcelona, very handy dirt bike rider.
Silva, 3.
Yeah, actually a professional motocross, freestyle motocross rider as well.
He's going to love this.
Cool.
He has double flipped an e-bike before, so I would assume we're probably going to see one of those on the Showtime booter, but I have no idea.
All of the riders wearing microphones today, so we can get a little bit of chat if they are talking.
I know, I'm like quiet trying to listen to them all talk while they're riding.
Oh
no.
Holding it together. He's still. Oh, did he blow up a wheel or? Oh, he hit.
It looked like he may have slipped his foot on his pedal and like dug it in on that.
That's so annoying.
Looked like it might have been the sensitive area that he hurt.
Yeah. I think he's definitely had a few deep breaths just to get rid of that bell ringing pain.
Back on it though.
You got a lot of course left here. Oh,
he was loose on that.
That's what I like to see. Loco getting loco.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be tough to pop right back up after that. You know, those of us who have experienced that type of pain. This is a pretty bumpy course here.
But it's different, right? This event shows you that it's rewarding to continue.
For sure.
Before, there's no motivation. You're done.
Such a good point. Very good point.
Yep. In another event, you would just be hiking back up and getting ready for your second run, figuring out what may be wrong with your bike and maybe putting ice packs in places.
Saw that FMX gene coming out on the Indy as well.
Ooh, a little deep.
So here's where we're going to be looking for some from Adolf down here. He lives on the big dirt-to-dirt doubles.
All right. We're all as anxious as you are.
See that booter?
Oh, but he's chilling. He's mailing it in. He just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
He decided to kind of mail that one in.
Potentially didn't feel he had the speed, maybe? Got such good extension up here.
Maybe he's still in pain.
Yeah, you think he just started cranking for that 1 foot table before he was quite off the lip, and then you end up getting nose heavy on that.
I wouldn't even be surprised if, you know, with this being such a new format, you kind of forget that you're still in the running for a good score. But you got to remember, he did still hang off the back of the bike 2 times with that trademark Adolf Silva extension you come to expect. That's the thing, though, is we're expecting so much from him. He gets kicked in the nuts by his bike, and he doesn't do absolutely everything that we want to see. But the good thing is there's still run 2.
That looks such a good run from over there.
Yeah.
He's watched his own replays.
I love that.
20 points
20.
for Adolf Silva, so he moves into 3rd position for now. Still leading, first man in, Finley Kirschenmann. But now it's the turn of Bellingham's finest, Talus Turk.
GoPro guy. All good? I'm looking forward to listening to this run too, because Talus is
16.
one of the, the most comical humans you'll ever hear speak.
Yep, same.
The stuff that pops out of his mouth is absolutely ridiculous.
It's what's in your head. He just says it out loud.
Yeah, it's like a ball of sarcasm. Just
super styly.
Looking comfortable, right?
Oh, no. Oh.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
It is a bummer to see that, but really good to see that he's completely okay. That was the jump that took out Tommy G, right?
For sure, yeah. I mean, that thing, we've seen a couple riders make it look easy early on with those 450s, but it is so 90. That is such a harsh angle of a hip jump, and you got to go to the moon to really come down and hit the tranny right.
And it was a decent step down too, to where you landed. Most hips like that are step ups, but you get an extra 7 feet of fall on that one.
It'll be interesting to see if he takes advantage of the rest of his run, which I think it looks like he is.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a long enough run to where you can actually get back into a flow, right?
The course is long enough. It's like, all right, well, that's one feature where I'm not going to be able to capitalize on an opportunity to get some points, but
there we go.
Yes.
Plenty of meat left on the bone in this run.
Yep.
First flip can we've seen.
Such a bummer.
He's already reflecting on that drop. He knows how well this run's going now.
Oh, every time over that shark fin, just ridiculously.
The Meg.
Right.
The Megalodon.
That was a feature that had not yet been guineaed when the riders showed up as well.
Oh.
Hence why there's probably a pretty big Nico Vink knuckle on it.
Yeah. Here we go, final jump.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. Very clean.
Beautiful work.
What a solid run, right? Even with the crash, like I'm super proud of him for that one.
Yeah.
Score's going to be fascinating because after the crash, it's almost like he levels himself and just goes again.
Well, I mean, it's really surprising to see him have an issue in the run because he is such a consistent rider. He does live full-time in southern Utah, so features of this size aren't foreign to him. It's just, it's a shame when it happens to fall apart during the run, but I love the fact that he picked himself up and finished really strong with that flat spin, one-footed can. But here's a look back at that crash. What do you think?
Oh, just short.
Just a little short and a little under-rotated. One or the other, he would have gotten away with it, but not both.
He's still got that flat 3 nag and the backflip.
Look.
It also shows just how tech it is to 450 that jump for the ones who do it successfully. What's the score going to be? Score to beats 35. Talus Turk snags a 28.6. Definitely something worthwhile to build on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, massive. I personally thought that run would have been higher based on how well Finn did with the crash. But I guess that was a crash on the final jump, right? You got to take that into effect.
Right.
So I guess you're right. Yeah, there's flow the whole way down until the end, and then you don't have to pick back up because it's over.
Okay, Nicholi Rogatkin on 1 day less practice than everyone else, yet to get a T to B on line 2. So it's a big ask for Nicholi at the moment.
It's actually so impressive that he made the decision to ride this competition. It is hard enough to learn these lines with all of the practice days, but he showed up late. Then he had an issue, had to just work on his bike a little bit, missed even more practice, but I mean, there's a reason this guy has accomplished so much. He's very strong between the ears.
I was surprised to see that he's only 29. He feels like he's had a 30-year career.
All the way back to, what is it, 18-inch BMX bikes when I first saw a video clip of him. Now look at him.
Yeah, I think he was our kid's age, and he was already doing 720s on 16, 18-inch BMX bikes.
Insane. I know, I'm usually excited to see him and see how many spins he does on the bike.
For sure.
And he's got that 29 on there. Like, I watched him, his rolling speed was insane. He's got that mass.
Here we go.
You could see how hard he was on the brakes.
Did you hear that?
Oh, he's talking to himself. He's talking up something.
He says, here you go. What we got?
I guess,
Great extension.
I mean, this is race run length, right,
yeah.
Keilani? Like there's a lot of endurance that's going to go into these.
Totally. It's like finding that patience too on this course when you're trying to throw those tricks in.
I hadn't seen that. A little bit of psyching himself up on the bars into that drop as well.
Yeah. Are we going to see the cash money roll? Oh, a little short. Maybe he's going to get the speed.
You're right, though. He's rolling fast through this trail.
The fact he was able to recover.
Oh my. Jeez, hold on.
There he still goes for it. He has those.
Yes.
He does cash roll, like front sevens like a no-footer.
It's so good.
It is so crazy that he can drop that trick right after a bobble.
With a 29-inch front wheel.
That is outrageous, isn't it?
No, it's nuts. I mean, you look at him on the slopestyle circuit, and you know he's no stranger to spinning 1440s. Give him a bigger bike and bigger jumps. He did do a 1080 on a downhill back in 2017, and here he is with minimal practice, getting a top-to-bottom smooth run and finishing with that cash roll, aka the front cork 720.
On a big bike as well.
On a big bike.
And there's not that many people in the world who do that trick, not to mention make it look the same as it does when he does it on a hard
on
trail.
A big bike, and let alone he may very well be the first person to do it with a 29er.
How much round? Oh, thank you, bro. Nicholi, what a great run you just put together. T to B, ending it with a banger. How did that feel?
Man, that felt unbelievable. I was barely hanging on. I kind of like missed my pull for the flip up there because that lip's so blind.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, I came around. And almost lost it on this jump before, super deep, super nosed in. And then I was like, oh, I still go for it. And barely hung on there. I cannot believe I made it to the bottom. I just did my first top to bottom run on this course this morning. So that feels unreal. So much support from the guys up top. I cannot wait to see what they got coming down. But can't believe I'm here, bro. I can't believe it.
Amazing, thank you.
Nicholi mentions how blind some of those takeoffs are. Just the time of day. Some of these features you're facing straight into the sun. And on minimal practice, if you can't see and you don't even know what you're supposed to be looking for.
And only one top to bottom run before that run is actually insane.
He was basically like cram studying for a final exam.
Exactly.
Which doesn't work, but apparently it does in this.
Okay, up at the top now, he's a made man in the big mountain. Freeride family. Reed Boggs getting ready to drop on Couderc from the mountain, line one.
So you see here what bike he's riding. He's riding the dual crown. He has both of them out at the venue here. He's got the single crown, more slopestyle influenced bike as well.
Yeah, he's a diverse rider, right? He's on those big rampage runs, but he's also in slope. So this is a great course for him.
Yeah, he is a really well-rounded rider. Amazing kid, amazing human.
Super flowy right now.
Kind of like you don't really even want to say anything. You just want to sit back and enjoy it, right?
Right.
Oh, little T-bog on the Shisty knob.
He's going pretty quick too.
Yeah, he hasn't flat spun any of the big hips or anything, but his rolling speed is incredibly good. And sneaking in toboggans, tucks, and flips in there.
The tough part about this format as well is figuring out how much to gamble in run number one. You know, if you get a low score in run number one, no matter how well you do, you kind of really know where that mark is, what you're trying to sneak up toward once the top run
Such
is
a good
set
point.
after run number one.
Yeah, huge guessing game, right? New format, new track, new field, new everything.
He's really cruising, it looks like.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, getting hung up on that.
Bonus points for the can lander.
Yeah,
I wonder if he was going for that or not. It's
know.
conveniently on the final jump.
I think he was trying to pull back on it.
It looked like it, yeah.
He just went for side saddle.
Yeah, you might as well just, oh no, I meant to do that.
It's a bit of a gamble, right? I don't imagine he would try to, because if you bottom out on a downhill bike with your crank down, your pedal will 100% hit the ground. So it might have unintentional little glorious.
Well, he made it look good, so.
Yeah.
Look at that. That big moto step up. Oh.
Yeah, the suey off of the wood drop seems to be the way, but I can't wait to see someone spin that thing.
It's gigantic, isn't it?
The course is so gnarly, but it's super fun.
It is fun, but it's gnarly.
Yeah.
Conditions are perfect.
Yeah, it's money up there. So good. Yeah, I'm happy. Flowy.
There's no wind, but I go kind of like sideways on the hip with a Mackie, and I was like, ooh!
Score to beat 35. Look at that.
Wow.
38.8. Reed Boggs is our new leader.
Clean is the key.
That was a good balance.
Woo! It shows how fast, like going fast and smooth is really important to the judges. That's awesome to see.
Yeah, next rider up is going to be Szymon Godziek, but Reed Boggs leads ahead of Finley Kirschenmann and Johny Salido. 3 riders up in the 30s for now. Those are our first 6 riders down. Thoughts so far?
Interesting point about the run order. These are all random draws. At registration, the riders pull the number plate, and that's what determined the run order. For run number 2, we're going to have a reverse start order. But, you know, we've had a few runs drop, so we've learned a few things. We've learned how much you want to gamble. We've learned how this scoring system works, and now we're starting to see some of the heavy hitters that a lot of people are putting their money on.
And that is a really good point, because that second run you're not just trying to improve, it's critical. There are no victory laps, there are no throwaways on that second run.
Yeah, it's a unique format. I mean, traditionally, as you've said, that we normally one and done. You put all your energy into one run, and then you get to reap the benefits of a cruiser lap and a victory lap, because you get the benefit of going last. You only get to see what everyone else has done. So there's still an advantage to being in first after the first run, but the battle's only half over.
Yeah, you've still got to put a score on the board. What did you make of the judges' scores that we saw out of there, Kilani?
I thought they were pretty fair. I mean, like we were talking about Credo, I do like that you can make the mistakes, and then also with a course as long, almost like a race run, right? You have time to make it up. So I think that the riders put down great runs, and I think it matches up to what they did.
Bit like a slalom race, right?
Yeah.
It's only half done. You know
right?
You have an advantage after the
now
first run.
you got to flip it.
Yeah, and that's what you're accustomed to and so good at.
Yeah.
And very much like a slalom, you're trying to pace yourself. You know, those are long days, those dual slalom race days, and this is a long day as well. We saw the first rider drop, hit the dirt. We saw a couple more riders hit the dirt. Talus kind of rolling around in it for a little while, but with this format, it's good because you know you have another run and it's going to count. This is not a throwaway, but also you got to play your cards right so you show up back up to the top of the course with your body in working order. And so a lot of these riders, you know, being strategic about the protective gear that they're choosing to wear for this format in particular.
Yeah, and as if by magic, here's one I prepared earlier, people. We talked about it. This is a POC back protector. It's made out of VPD technology, which there's a few different things on the market, but your body temperature actually keeps this one flexible while you're wearing it. So it's super light and super flexible, but the moment you hit it with something, come on, Cam, you going to do something for me here? No, not the trophy. This becomes absolutely rigid and it hardens up. POC have actually invested in a lab where they have scientists who are specialists in spinal and head trauma, and they've been developing these products there. A lot of the VPD line are completely modular, so you can bolt them together, and like most Scandinavian brands, I'm thinking of Volvo here, they're very good at prioritizing safety, looking after all of the riders. So if you're interested in getting some protective gear, definitely go and check POC out. Right now we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have riders 7 to 11 in the men's run 1 of 2.
pretty cool that the locals can come be a part of what is going to be a huge event for New Zealand, let alone mountain biking itself.
Big on there. Yeah, boy. Look back at
Best people, best riding, just best vibes, it's awesome.
Dropping it, looking. So good. Oh!
It was crazy just seeing, there's more like hungry women out there than there was dudes this time. There's a lot of fresh faces here.
The Dream Ticket qualifier is super important, and we really need to continue to develop and nurture and get more young males and females involved in the sport so we can just keep this sport vital.
Rider number 6, Finley.
Give it up for your crew, your winners, their tickets.
Welcome back to the first ever natural selection bike here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. We are up on Mt Dewar, and it is a stunning day. We've just seen the first 6 men drop in. We have the next 5 men. They're taking on that first line, and it's pretty impressive, Cam.
Reed Boggs sitting in that hot seat right there. I feel like he could have done a little bit more, but he's being smart because it's really easy to have a mistake out there on this course.
Yep. Okay, the bike behind you there.
Yeah, don't you want to win it? I mean, who would not want to win this thing, this Trek/9? QR code. Ed, are you still holding on to that QR code?
Yeah, it's...
Like, here, put your hands down. Have
if you missed it.
Yes, there you go.
There it is.
Grab your phone. You know what to do. Enter to win. The winner will be notified via email, and then the winner will be ripping their local trails on this bike. Why not?
Get this code scanned now because you could win that bike, and it's an absolute scorcher. I've got one. I can't recommend it highly enough. Pretty much, I like to call it, if you come from New Zealand, it's called the Ring. It's the one bike to rule them all. It can do anything.
It's my favorite bike for sure. Trek/9. Scan the QR code.
Okay, let's get back into the action. Cam Zink's going to be joining us back in the booth again. First rider in is going to be Szymon Godziek. The Pole is a hot favourite for this event.
I feel like this is the perfect event for me. It's like a perfect mix of everything: big jumps, downhill sections, and slopestyle features. All the riders are different here. Some of them come from slopestyle, some of them come from freeride or downhill. Also, we have different bikes. My bike is smaller, single crown. Most of the guys use big downhill bikes with double crown. That allows me to do bar spins and tail whips in my run.
It was good. You were perfect, I think. Over there, yes. I went deep on this one.
Yeah, excited. Stoked. Excited about start working on it. It's a long line. You have to be on point everywhere.
Yeah. And then there's a whole nother line that direction.
I love pushing myself. I love this event. I see this event as future of big mountain slopestyle.
Okay, Szymon Godziek, Poland's finest, ready to drop. Damon Iwanaga definitely picking him out, having watched all of practice, represented by Specialized and 510, 2 of our Industry Alliance partners.
I mean, watching those clips from practice, This guy, he has all the elements, but even if you have all the elements, it's still under pressure being able to put it down. Here we go, Godzi into run number 1.
He is on an amazing trajectory of his career, and yeah, it shows right there. Looking how comfortable he looks.
And him talking about his bike choice, so he can do those bar spins and those 360s and get around it.
Yeah, one of the first riders the first rider we've seen run a single crown, right? But he was not slowing up on the upper section of the downhill where a dual crown would favor that.
Just tail whipped that, dropped.
Huge
Wow.
fronty.
Like, that is so intense, that section. There is so much coming at you so quickly.
It's almost like a step up. It almost looks step up now.
And notice how he, in that layup section where everyone else is gathering themselves and slowing up and taking a breather, he kept charging through it. And right here, he's definitely going to get a speed right for the biggest drop on the course.
Definite opportunity here.
Boom.
Wow.
Oh, I'm a fan of that.
Big drop 3. Powers into the Meg.
Look at that speed.
Best style over the shark fin, too.
Yep.
Oh, a bit of a turn up on that. Using the whole course left to right.
He's so assured, isn't he?
Yeah.
First rider to flip the setup jump.
Wow, look at that extension on that. That was a great run.
I mean, that's clearly the best run we've seen thus far. And yeah, really, really stoked to see that.
Somebody understands the assignment.
Yeah. Not that surprising with his interview and how good he was feeling about the track, though.
This was incredible performance.
It's so funny, isn't it? His personality is so at odds with his riding. He's so cool, calm, humble, and within himself.
He saves it all up for the run.
Yeah.
What did the kid ask for his goggles?
Definitely.
Got another run, man.
Look at that speed. Oh my, wow.
I like how you have to hit a rut right there. That just shows the course develops and you have to adapt to it. There was just one line through the rut right there.
And especially to come out of that rut straight with the right amount of speed to do a hot bar off the end. Come on, that to me is a huge highlight from this run. Hop tail whip off of that flat drop and right into this rhythm section. This hip here using that natural feature, that schisty structure. You could tell he wanted to get a tuck no hander there. He didn't, but he still turned it into something.
And that was one of the few features that he didn't trick.
It was good embracing, the need for spontaneity there. Banger.
And look through the variety as well. If you did plow into this in every criteria, there's front flips, back flips, flat threes, like the 3 drop.
And the tail whip, first to do the tail whip off the drop on a bike that's probably twice as heavy as a slopestyle bike.
Made it look way too easy. It's so hard to get a bike that size around in a tail whip.
He's dropped every single flavor in there, hasn't he?
And kept his speed.
Godzi, dude, what an insane run you just put down. So powerful. I mean, you turned up the heat on that one. How do you feel?
Yeah, I couldn't be more stoked about that. I was happy to try to put all my tricks. I was feeling like this is the big mountain slopestyle event and I've been loving it. It's been a hard week, but yeah, we are here, stoked.
You are here, man. You proved that. Thank you, dude. We'll see you back here for run number 2.
Thank you, man. It wasn't easy.
Okay, Szymon Godziek with a 47. That is clear daylight between him and Reed Boggs. So 9 points, I think, 8.1 ahead of Reed Boggs there. That is a clear indication of what the judges are looking for.
Huge score. I mean, there's only 3 points left to be had out there somewhere.
Okay, Kurtis Downs up next. Let's find out how he got to New Zealand.
Natural selection bike came out to Pacific City. We ended up doing a contest of best overall through the week. It was all rider judged.
Overall, I feel very rookie coming into all of these events. It was pretty sweet to be voted by the riders. It's really shot me off in a direction I wasn't expecting to take.
Finally made it.
One more flight.
Got the golden ticket out here. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Look at this place. It's really happening. I linked up with Dylan Stark and Tyson. We rented an RV.
All right, let's get the first drive out of here on the wrong side of everything.
The gas pedal and stuff, is that normal?
That's normal. That way we kind of get to go explore and see this beautiful country, which is absolutely amazing.
Traveling, I never really did that as a kid. I was just like Midwest, landlocked. All right, don't drop the camera in me. No. I wish I could spend 2 months here exploring.
Everywhere you look, it's like a painting. There's activities everywhere you go. Kind of everything you could hope for. Hey, this side.
I gotta go wide, dude. We're gonna watch.
Just making sure you know. The place is amazing.
Yeah. Articulating what everyone feels when they get to New Zealand. Kurtis Downs, a showman to his very core.
Yo. Kurtis Downs. 3, 2.
Yup.
Excited to see him go. It's got to feel good to be like picked by the riders to be at an event like this.
Yeah, both he and Barb fully earned it. They came to your event too, right, Zink?
Yeah, yes. Kurtis, they both actually won my event as well. And Kurtis, if anyone's ever watched him, knows that he has the biggest bag of tricks on downhill bikes. Not the typical bar spin tail ups, but insane freestyle moto tricks on downhill bikes.
He's also a guy who analyzes what the assignment is, and he figures out the right way to position himself in a spot where he can do well. And he's been pretty clinical throughout practice, just trying to figure out what is it that I'm trying to accomplish here.
He is flying. Is it just me, or is he flying down
he's got
this
pace.
course?
Yeah, he is not one that you would think you'd traditionally see on a downhill track, or you know, he has more of a BMX background, but he is getting through this technical course with good speed. It wouldn't necessarily be the hardest to ride in those in-between sections, but the pace is what is really indicative of how well-rounded a rider is.
He's solid too, the whole run.
Yeah, he hasn't came up short and struggled on anything, and really excited to see what he has on the last jump. One of 100 tricks he wants to choose from.
Yes.
Oh, you heard him say it.
Still gonna trick it.
That was
Great.
Double grab on the seat as well.
Where's my seat?
I don't think he even knew what he wanted to do on that last jump until he was actually off the takeoff. So.
Yeah.
We talked about this, like he looked so smooth and composed up top. He was totally in control, but it was almost endurance, wasn't it? It was like he'd forgotten to breathe and he was running out of air.
I got confused.
For sure. I mean, do anything for a minute and a half on a bike and it's going to start to add up, especially when you're burning the mental calories of trying to remember speeds and the tricks that you had planned. He packed a lot into this one. And just the fact, like Zink, you mentioned, he does not come from a background of downhill racing. He comes from a background of BMX. The fact that he has adapted so well to be able to not only make it top to bottom of this course, but sprinkle in these tricks as well.
I'm fascinated to see this score because he rode smooth, but you compare it to Godziek, and he was just so intense.
I can't see anything.
Look at that. So Finley Kirschenmann on that 35 with a fall in there. Johny Salido on a 32 with a clean run, and that's 27 just because he was laying up a bit. Now, one of the riders that Todd Barber identified as being a standout in this field, Paul Couderc out of France.
He's been on the come up.
Yeah, this is the first rider I thought of when I heard about this format, and you know, I've seen some of his video parts, even some that he hasn't put out yet, and I'm like, well, this is where this guy's pushing his riding, and it's great to have him out here.
Yeah, definitely leading the. He's almost like the Finley of Europe right now, leading the charge for the new school.
Yeah, that was a great comparison, actually. They have very similar riding styles, so loose and flowy.
I always feel like he'll inspire poetry with that style.
Looks like he got away from that good at least.
Oh.
He went deep, huh?
He did go deep on that.
Hit deep and tucked a little on the inside.
Yeah.
That's a thing about those kind of more natural landings is those lips are mandatory to get you up into position to square up and be able to line up for the next section. But it's hard to see where you're going. It looks like he had a little bit of an issue right before the takeoff.
That entrance,
Yeah,
the corner. It didn't look like he got out of the corner where he wanted and had to cut off the lip a little bit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, a little sublux there, not a full dislocation, but sublux of the shoulder.
What a
Hopefully the
bummer.
AC's all right.
Yeah, he's back on his bike and riding now.
Oh, good.
So if you are just joining us and wondering, yeah, this is a live watch party. Cam and Keelani seeing it for the first time. Cam McCall and myself were there on the day, but this went down on February the 15th. So second of our Frenchmen up, Louis Reboul.
I mean, this guy in his slopestyle days was known as a style cat and a guy who just thrived at linking together smooth tricks. This is a format built for him. He had not competed in a long time, but found his way onto the list here through the Dream Ticket qualifier, earned his way in, I should say.
That shoulder buzz on that step down is not easy to do. I mean, you've seen many riders try to table that and get a little style, but he was the most clicked off of it. Incredibly hard over step downs because they're really easy to get nose heavy and end up in the weeds.
E.T.
That was so sick.
Everything he does is deliberate. There's conviction. Even just how he held that suicide no-hander. He gives the photographers a lot of time to get that button pushed.
full extension.
Yeah, not just checking a box, right? He's like thoroughly enjoying the trick.
Oh! The crew in Leon going nuts for this now.
The suspense.
The slow ride into danger.
Feel like you're jumping into the valley off these two.
Wow, deep.
Like a double table out of that thing.
It looked good. He went deep, but it made it look awesome.
This is the jump everyone, or the jump following people are going deep on.
And it's long, too.
Yeah.
So big.
Yeah, again, a little bit.
A lot of breaking into this lip, too.
Oh, the cannonball!
Let that one fly!
Oh, my.
I've actually seen that in FMX. I've seen someone let go of that, and it's catastrophic.
Oh, look at it.
Almost flew away.
Just also to mention, he had issues in practice. A lot of riders struggling in practice. It's challenging to learn these lines. Even a rider as smooth as Louis Reboul. You see him hold his shoulder right after that run. He wasn't sure if he was going to be able to ride. So extension like this with a sore shoulder, you would never know it when you watch him ride that he's dealing with some pain.
That's phenomenal.
He literally held that Sui to as far as shoulders would go safely, and but then held it.
Table, are we done? No, we have more airtime.
Let's go again.
Table.
Oh, wow.
What a G.
That's kind of what we're talking about, isn't it, in that creativity and risk criteria?
The subtleties, yeah.
Well, it's like holding your grab till the bitter end on a snowboard, right? Like if you have more time and you're OJing, keep holding it.
Okay, let's hear from Damon, who's with him now.
Louis Reboul taking charge of the course. Huge flat spin at the top. We get down to the bottom. Almost missed the seat.
Dude, we just
Did your heart drop?
Whoa, okay. Then I grabbed it, and I don't know how I can make it, but good sensation, man.
It's great to see you back out here. I mean, you're a familiar face in the freeride scene, slopestyle scene. You did the qualifier. How good does it feel to make it back in the finals?
Yeah, man, super happy. And when I saw this new event, new concept, I was like, dude, I should go back competing, you know? And I'm pretty happy about this show, so yeah, pretty stoked.
Amazing, Louis. We're stoked to see you back out here.
Thank you, dude. Thanks, man.
31-year-old rode Rampage in 2014, still out here and absolutely pushing as hard as he can. And so interesting to see the reactions of the riders down at the bottom here. They are pushing themselves. This is demanding everything of them. Back up at the top, last rider on run one out of Bend, Oregon, a town that I believe has produced more action sports athletes per capita than anywhere else in North America, is Carson Storch.
Used to actually be roommates with one of the leaders of the snowboard natural selection.
Rider number 25.
Ben Ferg was living at his house for a while. Here we go.
2, 1.
Carson on course. He's been eating this up in practice. He wants it.
Carson is a veteran, and he's kind of the youngest of the veterans, I guess. Kind of a prime spot in his career.
Yeah, he's got a lot of podiums and experiences at big events like this, so it suits him. And with the new format, wow, look at that.
So well rounded. Like, you could see him already eyeing up the corner and setting up for it while he was about 200 degrees on that spin.
The trajectory was perfect, wasn't it? Letting the back wheel hang out. Oh!
That was a quick one.
This is similar to what we just saw from Louis, where everything is incredibly deliberate. Nothing is an afterthought. He's gone through this run so many times in his head before dropping in, and there's a lot of conviction to every move.
You see him pump right there instead of pedal. Most riders are having to pedal, and he, took the high route and decided to pump both those rollers.
He's riding the bigger bike, too. Full-on downhill spec bike.
Oh, just a
Nice.
gorgeous 3 off of that.
Leaf out of Godziek's book.
He looks so comfortable out there.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Of everyone,
He just
feel
looks like he wants it.
he got this course on lock so early and was
Yeah.
able to just start finessing it.
All that experience from Red Bull Rampage. Here we go, one more jump.
Nice.
That just showed talent right there, right?
Yeah.
That one didn't show that he was going out of his comfort zone. That was just him
That shit's
straight
scary,
up
man.
showing how talented he is.
Totally agree.
Oh my God, I missed so many things, but
you spun it.
So good. The drop was chill. The spin.
Such a proper.
It was a chill spin. Yeah, I did.
Look at the
You
crew
call it,
making
buddy.
their way out.
So
Finley
cool.
Kirschenmann up there, and Vito
I
Agado.
need him, buddy. My only one is they got to match my Michael Jackson pants, you know?
Yeah, boy!
Is there a shortage of goggles in New Zealand, Ed? What's the story? Everybody wants, we got another run to do here.
100%, yeah. Any goggle manufacturers out there, get your goggles to New Zealand. The kids need them.
So I don't know if I'm going to kind of just analyze the last 2 runs. Louis scored really well. I think it's safe to say Carson threw a little bit more chips on the table here. This spin, we've seen it done by Godziek. Doesn't mean it's easy. That's a good size drop to spin on a good size bike. Obviously, riders riding big bikes out here because the terrain demands it, but to be able to hop up into a 360 off of that wooden drop is something that the judges like. Obviously, Godzi's run scored a 47.
I think there's more tech in here than there was on Louis' run. I'm going to go out and say
100%.
I think it's higher than Louis. Okay, let's hear from Damon, who's with Carson now.
Carson Storch, dude, huge run. I mean, starting with the 2.7 at the top, I don't think I saw you do that in practice. Huge flat drop 3. Earlier this week we were talking and you said you were gonna kind of keep it chill. I mean, how are we feeling?
Yeah, I kept it pretty chill in practice. Yeah, I'm just trying to have fun with it. Like, this shit's pretty gnarly and trying to stay safe. So very simplified run, just tried to focus on style and spins. And yeah, I'm stoked to be down here. This stuff's real.
What's the strategy going into this next run?
Just keep the same agenda going of just style and spins, baby.
There we go, spin the win, there we go.
Buddy.
Thank you.
Straight from the horse's mouth, this shit's gnarly.
Style and spins, baby.
But like 42.2.
I don't deserve that, but okay.
I disagree entirely, Carson. 4.5 points off Szymon Godziek.
Before the flat drop, you're like...
So Godziek leads. We've had a full pull of riders top to bottom. Only one rider, Paul Couderc, not making it. But at the top of the standings here, very little between Godziek and Storch and Louis Reboul there as well. You could argue Reid Boggs and Finley Kirschenmann still very much in contact.
How about that? The first run that we saw still hanging out in 4th place. And I mean, for run number 2, looking forward, there's plenty of riders who have a decent enough run 1 score to really just add some flavor to.
Okay, Kilani, Zink, like we've got a first full pull of runs in there. First thoughts looking at the scores that you saw and the level of riding that you saw. Is that what you were expecting?
A little bit. I think it was a little bit of what I expected, but it's just so new in the judging format, right? I'm really excited to see, and I would agree with the judges on that, but you're never sure if your opinion aligns with the judges, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of what I expected. I think because there's the 2 runs and they matter, I was thinking maybe they're going to all just like go so hard, but it was good to see the riders kind of being strategic and smart because, again, it's not about the biggest trick, it's about your entire run.
Yeah. And going big never goes out of style.
That's
and
true.
style
Yeah.
never goes out of style.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome to see that the judges are thinking the same way.
But you said that, okay, we heard Carson. He was like, maybe I'm laying up a bit. It didn't feel to me like Godziek laid up at all.
No, I think he's a man on the mission right now. I mean,
I would agree with that. He's so focused as well. Like, just to watch footage of him training and to see what he did at Rampage as well.
Yeah.
You know, he got second at Rampage, and now here he is doing this. Even to think of how good that run was, scored a 47, he still missed something in there. But the fact that he turned it into something as well, going for the tuck no-hander on the schisty knoll step-down hip, doesn't get the hands off, but boom, you see in the slow-mo replay, he put some style in there, and instead of a deduction, they go, all right, well, you turned that into something. It's the level of precision and the amount of training that goes into having your riding at that level is insane.
It's a treat to watch. When someone, you can tell when there's certain athletes at their pinnacle of the sport in a given moment of time, and Simon is that guy right now. We showed that he almost won Rampage. Some say he should have, but he's just showing that he's the guy right now. He's on a mission, and he's doing everything that he can, all the training and the mindset. His mindset is perfect right now.
Yeah, you go and look at his journey coming up with his brother, and it's just, the trajectory of his career is built to this moment, hasn't it?
100%.
I love how diplomatic you were about the Rampage judging as well. Okay, remember the format
I thought Tom
is...
should have won.
The format is very clear. That was the first run. The men are splitting between two runs. So they've got a 50-point score on the board. They've got a second run that's going to deliver another 50 points for an overall score out of 100. Szymon Godziek, if he carries on this track, will only lose 6 points. We've got the women's runs coming up very shortly alongside the men's second runs. We'll see you after the break.
Natural selection bike came out to Pacific City. We ended up doing a contest of best overall through the week. It was all rider judged.
Overall, I feel very rookie coming into all of these events. It was pretty sweet to be voted by the riders. It's really shot me off in a direction I wasn't expecting to take.
Finally made it.
One more flight.
Got the golden ticket out here. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Look at this place.
Really happening.
I linked up with Dylan Stark and Tyson. We rented an RV.
All right, let's get the first drive out of here on the wrong side of everything.
The gas pedal and stuff, is that normal?
That's normal. That way we kind of get to go explore and see this beautiful country, which is absolutely amazing.
Traveling, I never really did that as a kid. I was just like Midwest, landlocked. All right, don't drop the camera into me. No. I wish I could spend 2 months here exploring.
Everywhere you look, it's like a painting. There's activities everywhere you go. Kind of everything you could hope for.
Hey, this side.
I gotta go wide, dude.
Just making sure you know.
The place is amazing.
Welcome back to Natural Selection Bike here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. This is Mt Dewar. That tiny little speck on top of that peak is the mandala, the natural selection arch where everyone is starting from. We've just seen the first men drop in, all 11 men getting a taste of line 1 on the natural selection course. And now it is the turn of the women. We're going to have 2 winners though at the end of the riding today, and they will all be taking home one of these. By Weston Lambert, an artist out of the Pacific Northwest. He sculpts using rock and glass, and these things are absolutely beautiful. I could give you an allegory about the fragility of humans and glass and the solidity of rock underneath it, but I think I'd be getting way too deep for myself, let alone anyone else. But that trophy is stunning. It's got a lovely little inscription on it as well. If you're lucky enough to win one, you will get to read it. One thing to mention as well, up the back there behind Cam, you can see that Trek/9. You can win that. All you need to do is scan this QR code. Look at that, it appeared right as I did it. That was perfect. It's squashing my legs though, take it away now. Scan that QR code and you can win a bike, so please get stuck into that. We'll keep showing it through the broadcast. 170mm travel, front and rear, absolute beast of an all-terrain bike. Right now though, it's time to get stuck into the women's runs. And before we do, we're going to take a quick look at one of New Zealand's finest. It's Robin Gooms.
Robin, man, she's lit the world on fire the last couple of years. She's a force to be reckoned with.
Mt Dewar Future Ground was a women's only free ride camp that was held in Queenstown over like a week.
At the time we saw women's mountain biking just didn't have the same opportunity. If you look across action sports, surfing, skiing, snowboarding, all kind of had that platform, but free ride mountain biking didn't. We wanted to see and spark that progression.
How you feeling? Yeah. Good. This place makes me so nervous. Yeah.
What we saw of Robin at the camp, she showed up and she was this absolute rookie, kind of crazy. She'd come from the army. She wasn't really part of the scene. She was first on the shovel, kind of last to leave. We could just see this mix of talent and determination.
Just rip it.
Get it.
Future Ground kind of just opened my eyes to the world of freeride and was almost like a, bit of a shift for me.
Robin, she's kind of quickly becoming one of the top athletes in the world. I mean, obviously she won Rampage, so she's on the map.
She's just been crushing it. She is on top form at the moment.
For me, I just want to work on progressing myself as a rider. I still feel like I've got so much to do. I just want to close the gap between women and men. Do you want a hand?
I'm really excited to have Robin here, and she's just a great human.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, thank you.
Yo.
What Robin's really helped Mons achieve as a brand is visibility. It's super hard, right? We're a brand from the bottom of the world. We're all about natural fibers. Merino wool is an alternative to the all-derived synthetics, which makes up the majority of bike apparel, right? We're just so stoked every time she drops in wearing Mons, putting us on the podium and around the world. It's a dream come true.
Robin, I think with like the military background and that mental training that you get through there, she came at mountain biking with a really unique mindset, and she's becoming this icon in the sport.
Yeah, if you've never come across merino fabric before, then Mt Dewar use merino wool, which is grown on sheeps in New Zealand. They just pull the gear off them. No, they don't. But it's nature's magic fabric. It's warm even when it's wet. It's breathable. And most amazingly, it doesn't smell. If you're doing a season or long sessions, you can actually just hang it up in your room and it gets rid of all the smell. I've been using it for a while. I called it the business class of fabrics earlier. Once you've tried it, you can't go back. Definitely worth checking out. But talking about Robin, we saw her riding there. She's made an incredible impact on the mountain bike scene over the last 2 to 3 years. But unfortunately, Keilani, not able to ride in the comp.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, especially with a competition like this. You want to see Robin there. I mean, she's always on the top of the podium, but she's not the only one that's not there. We have a few other riders. We've got Casey Brown, who has an ankle injury. She pulled out prior. And then we have Via Verbeek, who was at Hardline actually the week before, had a crash, and fortunately she got a concussion. So, yeah, a lot of big names that won't be competing today.
Yeah, unfortunate for Robin. But you got to say, Cam, this course would have suited her so well.
Yeah, I mean, the shiny side of that is it's going to open up opportunity for somebody, but smart money was going to be on Robin for sure. She won the first Slopestyle for the women on the Crankworks World Tour and the Diamond Series, and then she won the first Red Bull Rampage, and with this event being on home turf, instead of going, oh, too bad we're not going to see Robin here, you got to think those 4 women who did make it to finals are thinking, oh my, I'm going to be able to make some history right here without having to bob and weave around Robin, who's kind of solidified herself as a bit of the queen right now.
Yeah, I got predictions out of Keilani earlier on. Who are you looking forward to seeing ride, Tink?
As far as the women, well, I think Kirsten Van Horne is definitely my top pick. She's the newest staff on, the newest rider for Zink Bike. She won not only a ticket into Natural Selection Bike from the Dream ticket, she also won a Zink Bike sponsorship. So I am incredibly stoked to see her ride. Seems the word is that she was first to show up, last to leave. Highly professional girl. I've never had a chance to meet her, but money's on her.
She's awesome.
I like that. There'll be totally unbiased commentary then. Okay, we can go down now. We did hear from Robin in that feature, but we can hear from her on event day. She was with Damon Iwanaga. Rewind, I can do that again properly. Robin is with Damon Iwanaga.
We're here with Robin Gooms, local girl, New Zealand. What does that mean to have a competition in your backyard?
It's pretty unreal for the country and for the sport. Like, this is a world-class event, and to have it like in Queenstown is so sick for everyone here, and just, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, awesome. We have our ladies coming up for their run next. Who are we excited to see? How are we feeling about that?
Yeah, women are dropping soon. They're all looking really dialed on course. I'm so stoked for them. They're getting top to bottom runs. They've been doing tricks on this jump. Stoked for like Janelle. She's an up and coming rider and she's absolutely ripping out there. Keen to watch it.
Me too. Yeah, amazing. Thank you.
Yo.
Okay, plenty of hype there from Robin Gooms. She's down at the bottom. We can take a look at the second run here. Ki Uta. So to the sea, this line. And it's the first riders to drop it on comp day will be the women. A really different proposition, Cam.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned when we were doing this flyover on run number 1, that run number 2, which takes place on line number 2, is a little bit more technical. Some of these features that are connected by single track are blind, and those features require not only a decision, but a lot of practice to know the speeds for them. You see there are 2 distinctly different options once you get down to the bottom. One of them takes you off of that Red Bull lip down. The other one gives you an option to jump over this rock, which leaves room for bonking the rock with the front tire or the back tire if you want to. But then you kind of funnel back into a similar final straightaway as we saw on run number 1, finishing with that same Showtime booter.
Way bigger challenge in terms of the braking and the decision-making process that goes into this. This is the start list. Opening us up, we talked about her earlier on, Janelle Soukop on that Marin that is a fully stock trail bike. So Janelle Soukop coming out of that Dream Ticket qualifier is going to open up the women out of Centennial, Colorado.
3, Janelle Soukup.
Let's go. So excited to see her go down.
2, 1.
She looked so strong in practice, and there's a lot of opportunities to get mentally drained in practice for this event. A lot of physical injuries took place, but also a lot of riders who just went, you know what, this is too much to wrap my head around. But Janelle was one of the ones who said, you know, one step at a time, I can figure this out. Here she is, dropping in for her final run.
Half the battle is pretty much just making it to the start gate, right, Cam?
Big drop.
Especially in events like these. So,
huge.
But this should be the easy part for her. She's done all the work, and she made it. And it's great to see she's just riding her bike. It's her one bike, which is also a dropper 12-speed, right?
She can just pedal right back up.
Yeah. Keilani, you mentioned she opted for the way big option up top.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest feature at the top of this course, but there is a ride around. She decided to go straight for the big dog.
Go big or go home.
And getting the pace right for that step down.
Yeah.
Everything's dragging you over it.
These are the features that are blind right here. Really easy to go long or get offline.
Now, a lot of the women struggled with this. That's
Yeah.
where Robin Gooms went down in practice. She had that little bit of an issue. I think she'd popped a rib, had she, at the start of the week?
It had already kind of been popping out, and then she rolled off of that section right there. As you can see, Janelle went around it. It's super blind, super tech, and also super narrow. When you see riders lace it, it's super impressive, but she had to walk around that. That'll definitely affect her score.
Wow,
She's
big
going up
one.
and over the rock there, Keilani.
That was a great example on that last jump where the entrance to these jumps are so important. Oh, this was what she said she was the most excited about, were these big jumps. Yeah, Nice.
Oh my God.
T to B to open up. Janelle Soukup is going to be so stoked about that.
You'd think that the air pressure might be a little less down there in the afternoon. Like in the afternoons, you tend to overshoot things, and it seems like a lot of riders are overshooting the bottom jumps down here.
She measured that step down so well.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard though, because some of her drops looked really good. Like before that shark fin, it looked perfect, but it shows you really can't tell that like those transitions are pretty difficult for speed.
Okay, Damon Iwanaga is with Janelle now.
I made it down.
Yes, Janelle, amazing run. Clean T to B.
Thank you, thank you.
I mean, that's got to feel great.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to be down here. See everyone, see my brother and everyone, and yeah, I don't know, I'm pretty hyped. It was a little, I just wanted to get down. That was my main goal.
Yeah, no, you did a great job out there.
Thank you.
The big drop at the bottom, absolutely cleaning these last two jumps.
A little deep.
A little deep.
A little deep, but I'm really stoked, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Janelle.
Thank you, David. I appreciate it.
So the women doing one drop, so the scores are out of 100. 78.2 is a really good benchmark from the judges. Clean run top to bottom from Janelle Soukup, and she has put a marker on the board that everyone has to beat. Next rider in, one of the heavy hitters out of Slope and Big Mountain. Another Bellingham favourite, Hannah Bergemann.
Rider number 4, Hannah Bergman. 3, 2, 1.
Excited to watch her ride. She's a really calculated rider. She's sendy, but she's not going to do it unless she's 100% confident in it.
Yeah, girl.
Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah girl.
Talking herself through it. She is traditionally known for, and probably the biggest charger of big steep lines.
Yeah.
We'll see how that skill translates into a little bit more air time on these. She definitely handles herself in a wide, skill base.
Staying high on the ridge.
This is where she'll excel in these really techie bits.
Look at that.
Little breather.
Yeah, I'm trying to line this up properly, not overshooting it.
Look how slow you have to go into that drop.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that shows how hard it is to judge speed. So they're playing it a little safer and staying slow into it, whereas you'll see people stand out.
There's that section that Janelle had to go around.
She was
threading the needle on it.
She was talking about that before and how it was kind of a 50-50 on race run and how it's going to go. Woo!
Kind of went for the tire tap on that.
Whoa!
Oh, super deep and holding it together.
Oh, very nice. Oh,
a little short.
Oh, no.
Oh, not able to lace
it. She got to the bottom clean until then.
Happy to be safe at the bottom of the least.
Exactly.
Gotta say as well, it's great to see her back. She was at the forefront of all conversations coming into the first women's category at Red Bull Rampage last season, and she had a Achilles tendon tear right before the event, wasn't able to make it. So to see her back and looking so strong is great.
Only 5 months ago.
Gosh.
Isn't that insane?
That little lily pad where she strung it together, Janelle had dipped around it.
Yeah.
She did so well. The line was perfect through there.
So that's the trade-off, right? Janelle put it to the finish line over the final jump, but she missed that middle section. Hannah made the middle section, didn't get the last jump. What's the score going to be?
79.7.
Into that first spot.
Essentially guaranteeing a podium right there, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Now, Keelani's pick from the very beginning. You went hard on Cami Nogueira.
I mean, she's on fire right now.
Cami Nogueira. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, score to beat 79.7.
She is just on fire. I mean, she's used to these like high pressure competitions, but she also sends it and has the skills to back that up.
Sends it, she does. She has probably the most DGAF in her besides Robin Gooms.
Yeah.
But she hits the ground a lot, so I'm really, really hoping she can put together a clean run, stay safe, and show us what she's all capable of.
She got that sick ombre fade of purple on the spokes as well.
Nice. She's carrying lots of speed.
Yeah, the fastest we've seen into the step down right now.
Ooh,
and that little
deep.
She let the back wheel go. It showed how much confidence she had. It was almost like, yeah, I've got this.
She's in control for sure.
See if she can get this lily pad.
Beautiful.
Aces there.
There we go.
So sick.
That angle really shows how difficult it is to enter that.
A little thin margin for error, for sure. just choosing to send the rock all the way.
But gets on the brakes, finds that transition. Because that's where Hannah actually came unstuck, wasn't it?
Oh, perfect on the setup jump.
Nice.
Hold on.
Right after what we've seen, for sure.
Oh, she's got to be happy with that.
Look at the camaraderie down here. Look how much it means to all of them.
Isn't it funny? You think about results after everybody's done the runs. Prime focus is just making sure that your friends execute their objectives here.
It's reminiscent of the early days of slopestyle and everything, right? When everyone is just so excited for the good of the sport. Everyone wants to win, but you also are just there looking to progress the sport and have fun with your friends.
Now that we've seen a handful of runs, you really get to kind of visually see where the challenges are. You see when the riders make a section look easy.
86. Wow.
Yeah.
86.5, Cami Nogueira. Big score for a big run.
I mean, she rode with confidence the whole time.
Yeah. It's exactly what we discussed at the start. She dominated the trail. She wasn't backing off anywhere. One rider left to drop now. She came through that Dream Ticket qualifier. She is Zink Bike's new team rider, Kirsten Van Horne out of Nelson, BC.
I got a feeling you're going to be hearing this name a lot more in the years to come.
Ready? Rider number 7, Kirsten Van Horne. 3, 2, 1.
I agree, Cam. She's a very calm person, and like I think that translates to her riding. She's so calculated. She's goes out there. She's trying to be 100%. She's not going to do anything too crazy, but she'll push it because she's competitive.
And there's a sense of urgency in her riding, isn't there? She wants this. Going round the big drop.
She is.
Fully charging and under control.
She looks confident.
Just going around, staying on that ridge.
I get lost in there.
There's a lot of options in that one section for sure.
On the brakes again for that big
styly.
The judges love to see even a little bit of style, and that was the most stylish we'd seen anyone on that jump.
We've seen enough people through there to know it's hard just to ride as well.
Nice, super clean.
She's glued right now. This is awesome to see.
Oh,
no. She committed on the tire tap though, but it bit her. But yeah, she was the only one to really commit to tapping.
Straight back up though, chasing the bike.
Yep, right back to it. I'm so bummed for her. I actually talked to her before, and she was actually feeling really good on that feature. She was struggling with that shark fin and was super excited to hit this one, so that's such an unfortunate fall.
Love that. Peakless, Rogatkin style, waving to the crowd.
The fact that she gets up as well after that crash.
And hits jumps that big.
Come on.
That was a hard hit. Oh, and the Suey. Oh, we got to say it. If she didn't crash on that, that'd be #1 for sure, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Huge run from Kirsten Van Horne. She did take that smaller side of the drop. The diggers were calling that flaccid. But it's like that. I love that angle of that replay. It shows you how big that step down is. It's so poppy, but you're traveling so little distance.
Oh, she just hit the front of it, huh?
Yeah.
She just tapped a little early on the upslope of that rock.
It's such a bummer to feel so good on a feature and then, you know, not being able to pull that through. But she got a sweet Suey at the end.
And glad she's healthy after that. That crash could have been so much worse.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
That was head in the
She
dirt.
got out of it, yep.
Can you imagine the
78.5 still, 3rd place. Good enough for the podium for Kirsten Van Horne.
Just goes to show how important it was to pop up and do that no-hander. Maybe she did it for fun, but she also secured herself a podium spot. With
by only 0.3 as well.
Wow.
Just behind Hannah Bergemann and Cami Nogueira in first. Damon is with our winner, Cami Nogueira, now.
Cami, 86.5. You are 2025 inaugural natural selection winner. How are we feeling?
Well, I was not expecting this. I have a really hard week
a lot of crashes. It was really hard to connect everything, so I can't believe that I win. It's crazy. But I'm super stoked. Also happy for the other free girls that they rode today. This was a lot of work, so I think that we did really good. So I'm so happy right now.
Amazing. Yeah, this course was no easy task. There's like 15 plus jumps out there to learn and remember. What is it like doing it with everyone, and how helpful is that getting the finals there?
So we do a teamwork actually with all the girls trying to figure out the speeds. You have to brake a lot, you have to be so precise, so it's really hard. I'm just so happy that this finished and now I can celebrate.
Yes, Cami, go celebrate.
Thank you, dude.
So good to see how much that means to all of the women. Oh, absolutely brilliant, and a deserving winner there in Cami Nogueira. The progression in women's riding at the moment, Keilani, is just incredible.
No, it's insane. I mean, each event you're like, they just keep getting better and better and better. And what is awesome about the women is they work together. Like you saw at the finish line, they want to see their friends get to the bottom, and kind of what you touched on with how it was back in the day. They just want to get to the bottom, put down amazing runs, and celebrate at the end.
High tides rise all ships, right? And this is the infancy of the sport. I mean, the last couple years for the women have been just monumental. It was a slow, like, prior to that, I think they're not really ready. They're not really ready for Rampage, but they're showing when they got the opportunity, they're just jumping at it and actually rising to the occasion.
I think for me, my favorite part of watching those runs is that first drop. That is like, I stood up on top of that. It's absolutely giant. It takes so much skill. And 3 of the 4 women just straight into it. No hesitation.
And we're talking about 3 of the 4 women who competed. The talent pool is also way deeper than you realize. 4 women made it to the finals here. Some pulled out by making the decision to just, you know what? Not ready to put 100% perfect run down. You know, there's a couple question marks. Other riders had injuries, like Barb Edwards. You know, she earned her way into the event through the Pacific City qualifier, and she was looking great in practice. An unfortunate crash at the end of practice one day, you know, and she'll be healing up. But she looked very much at home. There's more riders than we saw in that list of 4 that very much belong out there on a course like this.
Yeah, Barb was incredible, wasn't she?
She was riding so well, yeah.
Yeah, that was a proper highlight. Now, we talked a little bit earlier on about the trophies. Cami Nogueira is walking home with one of those. Hannah Bergemann and Kirsten Van Horne also get 2nd and 3rd place trophies as well. Weston Lambert, the sculptor out of the Pacific Northwest, who puts those together. But we've also got a print by the artist Mike Perillo. Now, those of you who come from snowboarding, if you're cross-pollinating in from the snowboard contest, you will know the name Mike Perillo. He's had a long-lasting relationship with Travis Rice. He was one of the first artists who put together the iconic graphics for Libtech snowboards, the Emigator, and I think is it the Tetons? I think or was it Cascade? I can't remember. One of the mountain ranges. He has this stunning sunset behind them, but he's done all of these fine art prints for each of the sports. The surf poster was absolutely beautiful. He's done this one featuring that central schisty knob up above with the native New Zealand falcon. If you want to get one of those are for sale on the Natural Selection site. You can scan this QR code, and we've got a couple of those prints on the website that are signed by all of the riders. So if you get yourselves there quickly, you can pick up one of those beautiful prints. The paper quality, if you're an art nerd, is off the charts. Go and check it out for sure. Right now, we've got the men's 2nd runs coming up very, very shortly. That is a mouth-watering prospect on the same run that we just saw the women on. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, though, 11 men taking on run 2.
Robin, man, she's lit the world on fire the last couple of years. She's a force to be reckoned with.
Montreal Future Ground was a women's only free ride camp that was held in Queenstown over like a week.
At the time, we saw women's mountain biking just didn't have the same opportunity. You look across action sports, surfing, skiing, snowboarding, all kind of had that platform, but free ride mountain biking didn't. We wanted to see and spark that progression.
How you feeling? Yeah. Good. This place makes me so nervous.
What we saw of Robin at the camp. She showed up and she was this absolute rookie, kind of crazy. She'd come from the army. She wasn't really part of the scene. She was first on the shovel, kind of last to leave. We could just see this mix of talent and determination.
Just rip it.
Get it.
Future ground kind of just opened my eyes to the world of freeride, and was almost like a bit of a shift for me.
Robin, she's kind of quickly becoming one of the top athletes in the world. I mean, obviously she won Rampage, so she's on the map.
She's just been crushing it.
She is on top form at the moment.
For me, I just want to work on progressing myself as a rider. I still feel like I've got so much to do. I just want to close the gap between women and men. Do you want a hand?
I'm really excited to have Robin here, and she's just a great human.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, thank you.
Yo.
Welcome back to Natural Selection Bike here in Tahuna, Queenstown. Now, you're probably looking at this stunning landscape and wondering how on earth did they get to build a bike course down this incredible mountain? Well, that has a lot to do with Adam Smith and his team at Tree Space. The area that the course is built on is part of the Tree Space development. Now, this is a sustainable development and the biggest private commercial reforestation project in New Zealand of native flora. Now, what that means is there's loads of philanthropists, people who are just giving money that rely on donations to reforest areas. What this is actually a private commercial property development that at the same time is planting hundreds of thousands of plants across that mountainside. And we're a part of that. Before we started building this course, it was actually technically an industrial wasteland. You had forestry / pine trees have been grown there, which are an invasive species in New Zealand. And all of the waste from that was down at the bottom. So where that big part of the course has been cleared away, that was all covered in bits of slash or the waste from forestry. Now, Adam Smith and the Tree Space team are committed to regeneratively planting this mountain, and natural selection is a part of that. Check it out.
Ko waiau, waitaha kāti māmoe, kaitahu kaiwi, ko oraka, aparema, tohoku runaka, ko taku tau te titi toku marae. Welcome to the Waifakata catchment. Welcome to the Lake Hayes catchment. This catchment is 42 kilometres in length, and the water starts up here on the mountain and then hits the wetland and moves into Lake Hayes, where it hits the Couderc River and then flows out to the ocean. These mountains are so important. One of our chiefs said to me, this is where the story of our freshwater starts. This is where the story of life starts. Over the last 50 years, we've started seeing the health of Waifakata degrade. And that's due to human impact. Development, deforestation. We've seen a big introduction of invasive species. So these projects around restoration are so important.
The challenge here was to plant enough trees to create a micro ecosystem and a microclimate.
Indigenous forests carry a lot more water retention than pine forests. They live longer, and those are the types of forests that we want to build trails in.
We plant in clusters of 20 trees and then space them out, and once those grow up, they throw their seed into the gaps in between. Those seeds grow into trees over another 20-year period until they mature, and then you've got a full forest. The ecosystem does everything else for us.
The biggest goal for our future is connection. Connection to place.
Okay, thank you to Tree Space and Track for all of their support in getting Natural Selection Bike off the ground here on Mt Dewar. This is the start list. Now they're in reverse order of their scores. Unfortunately, no Paul Couderc in there, but Szymon Godziek will have the privilege of dropping last with that giant 47-point score that he banked out of the first run. So coming back into it, little refresher on the format. The men are on 2 runs and each score counts. You get a maximum of 50 points for each run, and that'll add up to 1 score out of 100. Szymon Godziek, Cam, was breathtaking in that first run. He risked it all. He's got a huge reward.
Yeah, but he's got to do a lot of work to redeem that reward. You know what I mean? And that's what's exciting about this format. Typically, you'd be like, all right, sit back and see if anybody beats me, and maybe I'll have to drop in again. No matter what happens, he's got to drop in and do another run if he wants to stay in that top spot. And that's because of this 2-run combined score format.
Yeah, he technically is only halfway there. Who stood out to you, Zenkat, the first run?
Well, as Cam said, the battle's only half done, and because Finley had a crash in the first run, he is working off a bit of a deficit, right? But it also shows that he has an opportunity to have the top spot, or he is capable of a winning run had he not crashed. So Simon's capable of crashing, and Carson's capable of crashing, and although there's, I think, 2 to 3 clear-cut favorites so far, they just laid down one good run, but they're just, a crash could happen to anyone, right?
Yeah, and as we saw, if you've got 12 points difference between Finley Kirschenmann in 5th or 6th, I think it is, and Simon at the top, yeah, it's not a big mistake. And Keilani, we've seen it already. That second run is super technical.
Yeah, it's so technical, and that's what I love about this format, though, is that you can't get too comfortable, because now you can have a rider that might be progressing on that second run a little bit more than people who might be on the top of the podium spot, so to speak. So I'm super excited to see what they can do and who can kind of make up for their first runs.
Okay, well, we're going to get into the second runs very, very shortly. But if you're new to the world of natural selection, as we said at the top of the show, there's a 4-sport expansion in 2025. And just a couple of weeks ago, we aired Natural Selection's first ever surf show. If you missed it, you can check it out here.
These type of conditions and swells, it's something special. I'm just stoked to be here and can't wait to see what happens in the next couple days.
We're all getting a chance to do what we love doing, which is showing our art form in surfing. I'm pretty excited to see how something different turns out, and I'm stoked to be a part of it.
It's in the middle of nowhere, no one surfed it. Would you like to come? I was like, yes.
Hopefully that's whet your appetite. There are 2 shows. There's a qualifying day and then there's a finals day in the surf. If you haven't seen them already, please go and check them out. They are the action is epic and they're also extremely entertaining. Back to the bike now, though. We're going to give you one last chance. You can see that Trek/9 over behind Cam. Please model it, Keilani and Cam. You can click on this QR code, scan it now, get your phone out. I'll hold it here for a second and I'll do lots of fancy stuff waving at it. Make sure you scan this and you could be in to win that Trek/9. Perfect bike for riding these kind of trails, and absolutely go anywhere, do anything machine. Be in to win. Right, time now to get stuck into the men's second runs. Everything to play for here at Natural Selection Bike. Cannot wait.
So we're going to now bring the men over to the same start tower. They're just going to peel riders left and ride this line that we saw the women just tackle. There's going to be opportunity to hit some of those features that we did not see the women hit, namely that feature with the gigantic rock landing with 2 different lips coming into it. Here we go.
Adolf Silva, first man up.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Get it done.
If you think back, Adolf had that issue in run number 1. Obviously left a lot to be desired in terms of his score with run number 1, but He's the kind of guy who's going to seize this opportunity and see if he can put himself within striking distance of a good finish.
Huge suey off that drop, and it just that angle showed the sheer size of it, and great extension on it too. And he is roasting these corners.
Big step up now with the rock landing.
Oh, that's Adolf to a T right there.
Went so deep, and he's on the anchors now.
Oh, he's doing this left side. We didn't see any of the girls do that.
It's such a treat to see him go. Oh, now you're going for a sea crab. Just the conviction again to go deep on a landing like that, but get pedals full on bolt. I think that the judges are actually going to reward that going deep if you can keep it under control.
Wow. Great extension on that.
It's the first time we've seen that hit here in a contest run as well.
He's looking like he's got a bit of more tenacity this run.
Yeah.
You know, probably a little bummed that he crashed, but see what he's got on the perfect Superman sea crab to end it off.
Nearly off the back of that. Popped hard off the top there.
Biggest drop option on this line right there. He goes for the suicide no-hander, but that's the highlight for me. Look how deep, you commented on that, Zink, how deep he went down the landing. I think you're right. I think that actually gets rewarded because that's aggression, that's attacking the course when you land that deep and still hold on after the impact.
Coming in at a higher speed, ending at higher speed, and then for some reason the final Superman Sea Crab didn't look like that crazy of extension compared to the other one.
Yeah.
But as we saw right there in the slow-mo, huge extension.
Okay, so first run score is 20 points. We're going to see this second run score bolted on, 37.5 for the second run. Combined score of 57.5 for Adolf Silva. Back up at the top straight away.
Rider
Nicholi
number
Rogatkin on a
18.
22.8.
Nicholi Rogatkin. 3, 2,
Dropping. So what will this be, his third top to bottom?
I believe, right? I think that's what he said.
All
Yeah.
practice.
So just needs a 34.8 to take over Adolf's position.
Talking to himself?
Slow.
So much focus.
Not slow enough.
He handled it.
Here we go. He's coming into that same jump we just saw Adolf lay out that Superman on.
Oh no. Full in-flight commentary, isn't it? Complete standstill there, broken up the flow.
Yeah.
But for good reason. Huge backy.
Listen to him catch his breath.
Taking his time.
You can tell it's just taking all his energy, right? Mentally and physically.
There we go.
How good was that?
My
Risky
God.
move, trying to spin that drop into the shark fin, but holds it together.
I mean, knowing Nicholi, he's going to put it all out there now in his second run.
Little tap.
Nice.
Gets the bonk.
All right, Suey to start bringing it home. Are we going to see another cash money?
I hope so.
Oh, just textbook.
Wow.
Oh, he cleaned it up, didn't he?
That is phenomenal, isn't it? Like, he may have lacked a little bit of finesse, but the entertainment factor is off the charts here.
Always with Nicholi, you hear him talking to himself the whole way down, saying slow, slow, slow. And in some cases, he did not take his own advice. He sent deep down a few of those landings, but linking that flat drop 360 and then
it almost
there. Damon
desensitized
standing
it.
by with Nicholi.
Massive run for Nicholi Rogatkin. Dude, the flip at the top, linking into the 3, and then ending with another banger on the cashy. I mean, that's got to feel amazing.
Man, that run was so mysterious for me. I have not done a top to bottom on that line at all. I hadn't even hit that jump up on the ridge. I was going to flip it, but I was like, you know what? I just got to try to make it down this line. Same thing with that drop. Never like linked the drop to the next section, and then I spun and I was all over the place. And then by the time I got down here, I was right at home with the cash roll, but I cannot believe I've done 2 out of 2 runs. Definitely not my best work, but this event is gnarly. This event is technical, as I'm sure you know, and stoked to be down here, bro. And these boys are about to throw down some crazy things. Let's see who wins this.
Let's go. Thank you, Nicholi.
Cheers.
Nicholi Rogatkin as loose as a rental bowling shoe. 39.2, the judge is really rewarding that second run. 62.1, Rogatkin moves into the lead for now. Still 8 more riders to drop though, so chances of holding on to that are pretty slim. Back up at the top, It is the man who takes a big handful of influence from FMX. The backflip combos are to die for. Kurtis Downs dropping in.
Well, Kurtis just keeps getting better every single lap on this course, and that was true through practice, and now in his second competition run here, let's see him turn the dial up.
Woo.
Oh,
I think this line will suit his style a little bit more, and he needs a 34.6 to overtake Nicholi for the lead right now. I think he's going to be able to sprinkle a little bit more of his magic on this run.
So difficult that turn to hold the speed through.
Oh. There he is.
Heel clicker flip combo.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
and
that's
right side
awesome.
uphill. You don't see heel clickers off step down.
New line.
Guess I'm going over here now.
Bit of side country.
Oh, so
Wow.
deep.
I love it. I think the judges are going to score high on that, landing deep
Yeah.
and then roasting into the shark fin.
Because there's some control with that. It was deep, but he held on to it.
Well, also, he was trying to go into the other line. It's ride by Braille right here.
Oh, what's he going to run? Clean over that.
Nice.
Found those pedals.
He might be a little gassed, huh? That's something we don't really normally think about. He might just be a little tired and going with something conservative just because of the physical energy.
I think you're exactly right on that. What we saw with run one, it's a little more laid out. You can actually let it run. You're hard on the brakes here. You're working hard through so much of it. You called them mental calories earlier, Cam.
For sure. I mean, we were talking about that earlier, Ed, and we see these riders going through that as well. There's a lot to think about as well as a lot to do.
That was awesome.
When you look at that landing,
run out.
When you walk that landing, they've had to drill a section of rock there. It's not dirt.
Look at this.
Wow.
Perfectly horizontal. See how deep he goes. He was a little sideways too.
Might be a little sidewind down there, huh?
Let's hear from Damon and Kurtis now.
I got Kurtis down. 2 for 2. Huge backflip heel clicker. Just moved into second place. How are we feeling? Are you kidding me? Yeah. Oh, that's what's called laying it on the line. I've never, it got wild. Like all week I've been stressing flip tricking that jump up there. And then I actually went a little deep and just randomly I saw the next line and I was like, cool, I haven't practiced this one at all, but there's time to do free ride. It's right here, so just drop in, make it all work, get back to my connection, got down, went a little deep on the bottom one, but hey, still rode it out. Dude, amazing.
He fooled me on that.
How good was that? Love hearing from him. So slots in just behind Nicholi Rogatkin. Next rider in, it's that man, Talus Turk. He needs 34.2 if he's going to beat Rogatkin 62.1.
And that's very well within reach for this rider considering his capabilities. Issues in run number 1, so he's looking for a smooth one here.
Yeah, I think with that big one in the first run.
You never know. He could have had the winning run had he not crashed.
Exactly. If he can get it top to bottom.
Or the leading run, I should say.
Yeah.
Right up into that pocket on the berm. Give him the angle for this.
Oh. Wow.
That's about as good as he
can. Imagine if he managed to hold on to that manual.
Yeah, I'm sure. Can't stop crashing. That was insane. Bastard.
That's one word for it.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
That cannot be an easy jump to spin.
No.
That's so rare for him too. But that's true, to spin that jump.
I mean, this is a guy that will spin anything, right? And off a traditional double or step up, even step down, you never see him mess up. Just shows how difficult that jump is.
Straight into it.
Zero run up on that thing, and he's taking the right-hand fork now.
He's got nothing to lose now.
Yeah, exactly. Only stuff to gain. Still can salvage a score here.
Looks great already.
I know.
He regains his composure so quickly.
It's like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Okay, powering up into this final section, drops down into the Coliseum.
Whoa.
Oh, slipped a foot.
Yeah, and that'll be an even bigger missed opportunity, right? Foregoing the final 2 jumps.
Yeah.
Such a shame. It's a case of what might have been from both runs for Talus. They had so much potential.
All 3 of those crashes between the 2 runs kind of follow a similar theme as well. Who knows, maybe just a little bit of nerves coming into this thing, knowing that it's so suited toward his skill set. There's such an opportunity to do well, just little mistakes like this. But Zink, you have a great point. We see him spin a lot of stuff, but that jump, no matter who you are, is a tough jump to spin.
Yeah, and it was, if he hadn't just over-rotated a hair bit or gone deep a hair bit, but you can't really do both, right? Like one or the other, and he would have been all right.
Like from the beginning, just going offline. It's all good though.
Love the positivity.
We'll be seeing him from years to come, right? This, this isn't the last you'll see of Talus Turk.
You know his dad was the first guy to get a double backflip on a snowboard on camera.
Isn't that
Bit of a legend, yeah.
Like part of the Baker hardcore, like the original Mount Baker crew with Craig Kelly.
Rider number 14, Johny Salido.
I love seeing.
Okay.
I love seeing the scores to beat drop, right? So we have Johnny only needing a 29.5 to take the lead right now. So it's a tall task for sure, but he's definitely capable.
Yeah, well within his reach, isn't it?
Keelani, it's a tough one to figure out how much to wager on this run, because I feel like he maybe left a little bit out on the table in run number 1, but now he's within striking distance. If he does kind of a little bit more than he was planning here, he can really move up into a top spot.
I definitely expect him to do a bit more if he wants to be in that podium range, because I agree. I think he could have put more out kind of like that on his first run.
This run, he seemed a little bit more solid. He's slowing up a little more, I'd like to see right there. But overall, it's looking like far more conviction.
Yep.
And again, the 3 then into the Sharky is a tech move.
Yeah, that link is so tech. We've seen that from other riders, how challenging that can be.
He got on the bong. Oh, no foot canning over the rock. That's a new one.
1 foot can off the drop.
I love this line like that. Moto wheelie, long way across that.
Oh, nice.
I definitely think this was an improvement.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would agree with you there. I think first run was kind of sizing things up, and then this one's going, all right, well, I banked a big enough score to where I can kind of afford to lay it on the line a little bit, and he did it. Both with that 360 flat drop and with that backflip step down that took place right before. But getting creative there, Credo, the C stands for creativity, doing a no-foot can over the rock where most riders are thinking about bonking it with either the front or back tire. Then instead of a no-footed can there, a one-footed can, good variety.
Which some would say might actually be harder on a drop like that, depending on your anatomy. Like some people find it harder to do a single foot
I would
can.
agree, yeah. I would be one of those who would agree with that.
Okay, he's on a 32.7, matches that with a 33.1, 65.8 for Johny Salido. We do have a new leader. He moves ahead of Rogatkin on 62.1 and Kurtis Downs just behind him. So 5 riders in, and like we talked about that format, Cam, like it's working perfectly. You could see Johny Salido respond to that, couldn't you?
Yeah, we're into it now. That was a great example. Johnny going, all right, I see the opportunity. I'm going to do what I need to do to get close to that goal. And now we got a rider who's sitting up in the start gate who has that same opportunity and all the skills to really be able to put it together.
Yeah, Finley Kirschenmann on run 1, Keelani, he looked, without that fall, he could have been right up there in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, we keep saying this about other riders. It's like it could have been a #1 spot ride, but you know, with that little mistake, now he really has to take this and take advantage of this second run to get into that podium spot.
Zing, it feels like we're in the business end of the scores now, from 35 up. If you're going to be in the 70-point range if you can put a solid run down.
Yeah, and like Johnny, I feel like he learned a lot from his first run, right? And was able to adapt for the second, but the first run scores are already done. So he already lost that opportunity, but he was able to capitalize and learn from it for the second run. And Finley, I think he was doing all the right things, but he just unfortunately crashed. So really excited to see what he has in it, if he can hold it together, if he can not be tentative, you know, worrying about crashing, and still keep that style and flow that we're all looking forward to see.
Precocious 18-year-old. I don't think he's going to struggle with that. Let's get back into the action. Finley Kirschenmann out of Utah is going to be the next rider to drop, and this fairy tale continues for him. Came through those dream ticket qualifiers. Could he have a shot at the podium here with a solid run?
Here you go.
Rider number 12, Finley Kirschenmann. Love you, boys. 2, 1.
So he just needs a 30.3 to knock Johny Salido out of that top spot. The fact that he's capable of scoring a 35 with a crash shows the judges love the way he does it. And that's what it is. It's not just what he's doing it. It's not just what he's doing. For this rider in particular, it's the way he's doing it. Obviously, probably should have tricked that drop right there, but he's carrying good speed and looking aggressive just like in run number 1.
None of the men so far come down this side of the course.
Because they knew they weren't going to look as good as him on that hip.
So true.
Kills that speed beautifully.
I feel like that has to be one of the higher scoring tricks on feature.
Unreal.
Wow.
He's gone absolutely ham now. He's got that upper section out of the way.
He looks so comfortable right now.
And he looks like he's having the most fun of anyone. Started out with a manual even right out of the gate.
And I'm sure that will benefit him in the end.
I'll go for a foot tap.
Nice.
Yeah. Got that drop down into the...
I'm looking forward to seeing another Superman Secret. He has one of the best in the game.
You take a pedal.
Yeah.
Oh, straight Superman.
Oh my.
So deep on that landing.
He was running out of space so quickly there. Finley Kirschenmann take a bow. That was a fantastic second run.
I mean, I'm going to say right now as we watch this replay, that shot right there, we talk about credo and what it stands for. This run is the embodiment of that. Maybe it should be creed off, put fun at the end of it.
Look how big he went, and he only just made the landing.
And his back tire's dancing around too.
And straight into this.
Talk to me about threeing that lip down instead of flipping it.
Oh, it's significantly harder. There's a reason why you see people flipping lip downs and spinning flat drops, and then because the opposite is incredibly difficult.
But if you're gonna do a flip and you want to try to be more creative with it, doing, what do you like to call that? Think the turtle flip?
The turtle flip. I think Brett Reeder was one of the first to bring that steez to it. Yeah, without having to take hands or feet off, you can get a little style on it.
That was probably one of my favorite runs so far.
Yeah, hands down. That whip on the penultimate jump was beautiful. So a 35.6. Where's this score going? 43. Finley Kirschenmann moves it into the lead.
First place. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm super excited to get a run clean that I'm super happy with, and it's been super fun figuring out both of the lines and kind of their own kinks on each one. And happy to do the flat spin on the step down. That's one that I've been super stoked about and not seeing many people do, so hyped to kind of do my own thing.
Sick, dude. Well, it looks like you're a seasoned vet riding out there. I just have one more question.
Yeah.
Throughout the week, I've heard that you've been sleeping out of a treehouse. I mean, we know you're not a local, but it sounds like you got some property out here.
Yeah, those are just rumors. I don't really know who said that, but it could be true. It could be true. It'll remain a mystery.
Thanks, Finley.
Yeah,
good work out there. So sick.
Dude.
I think that Damon hug is going to be just as synonymous with Freeride as Mulehouse's fist bump at the top of the run.
Yeah, we got a bookend now, top and bottom. Okay, back up at the top, 6-time Rebel Rampage alumni, won Proving Grounds in 2019. Reed Boggs on course.
Hey, how about the bike choice, you two?
Yeah. I mean, he's back on it, a little bike. This is kind of what he's probably comfortable with, too, coming from slope. And I hope we get to see him do a little bit more on this run. He had a clean run the first time, but I think he could do more.
Sui on that big drop. He was on the dual crown for run number 1. He felt that bike suited that trail more. And now he's got the opportunity for some tricks if he can sprinkle them in here. Some bar spins or some tail ups are perhaps on the menu with that bike choice.
And he's most likely riding, there's the bar spin, taking used to the single crown, but it's probably a little bit lighter of a build as well, so he can, the jumps on this line are a little bit smaller, and I think he's going to be able to adapt to it and utilize his bike for what it's worth.
Yeah, boys.
He's made that look so easy up top.
That section right there, you know, in a downhill race when you can hear them cheering, he just cheered back. You hear him say, "Yeah, boys!"
Oh, nosy on it. First
nice.
On that. I think that's the top pick for tricks on it.
Oh, and the 3 in.
That's so smooth.
The steez in between, the Manny over the roller's got to rack up some points.
There.
Very good.
Made amends from run 1 where he got tangled up.
100%. To the bottom of that landing.
Reed Boggs looking supremely comfortable on that run.
That was a really fast run, too.
Yeah,
Right?
flawless, right? I think he would have wanted maybe, you know, to add a little bit here and there, but overall there was like no flaws in it.
Yeah, it's really composed.
That bonk is perfect. You have a good point, though. Like, it's a single crown, but that doesn't just open the doors up for bar spins and tail ups. It's lighter, easier to get up off the ground for a 3 drop like that. Here, we saw in run number 1, he ended up with that foot still on the wrong side. And we're like, all right, cool, side saddle lander. He gets that backflip one-footed kick in, back to the pedal this time. What's the score going to be, Ed?
39 flat, second place for Reed Boggs. He tucks in behind Finley Kirschenmann, who's now starting to look like he can hope for a podium finish.
Right? Now it's kind of like, all right, let's see how many of these bullets we can dodge here, but there's a whole lot left in the chamber. A lot of big names yet to drop.
Yep, we've still got coming in Louis Reboul, Carson Storch, and Szymon Godziek. Louis Reboul on that 40.5, a very respectable score from run 1.
2, 1.
Louis needing a 38.2 to knock Finley out of that top spot here.
That's an indicator of just how well Finley rode.
And if we can see Louis kind of stick to his strengths the way he did in run number 1 here, we're going to really see something that could shake it up. Nice style on that toboggan off the flat drop. He likes to take tricks that you would expect to see on different features and get creative with where he does them.
Yeah, and not just checking the box, right? The 1-foot X to table, like actually extended on both of those variations. And even the toboggan up top was really, really stylish and extended. Oh, that one, little dead sailor. You could tell he wanted something.
Yeah. He's looking smooth, though, and stylish, which matters.
A variety as well, right? Adding a bar spin in there. I don't think he's repeated one trick yet.
Out onto the big wood drop and flipping that. Oh, boosting through there, a new line.
That's his own route there.
Tagged that penultimate jump a little bit.
Oh, that was glorious.
That was crazy.
That was so interesting. I think you called it exactly right, Zink. He wanted more on that middle jump, but what he delivered down at the bottom there, it was almost like he was focused on that last third of the course.
Yeah, I guess it's so important to not get lost, like missing a trick, because you always have that opportunity later on, right?
This is where it starts to step up.
Yeah, he had the amplitude, he had the big tricks, he had the style, he had the variations, and a ton of variety.
And creativity. Like that brand new line through the middle that no one else was getting. So 40.5 adds on a 39.8. It is enough to overhaul Finley Kirschenmann. So a guaranteed podium now for Louis Reboul with just 2 riders left to drop. Finley Kirschenmann in second, Reed Boggs in third. Still got Carson Storch and Szymon Godziek to drop. Look at Storch. Look at those eyes.
The focus.
Such a unique circumstance. It doesn't even matter how well you did run number 1. You're not even close to the podium yet, unless you get a good run here.
3, 2, 1.
It's also a sign shows that the judges like what you're doing too, so stick to your convictions and follow on course and try to get that 38.1 and even elevate it, because he knows that Simon's going to be coming right behind him.
Definitely.
First rider, big trick off there. First rotation.
It's got to make you proud there, Zink.
I love seeing that. Yeah, just stomping it as well, again, with conviction on all of this. Up, correction. But he's keeping his speed, slashing the corners.
Yeah.
He's not laying up, and you can tell that he's not slowing up early to guarantee that he's the right speed. He's braking late, even on these really finite braking zones.
Yeah, he looks confident. He's definitely not second-guessing what he's doing. He knows what he wants to do on this run.
Even the little bit of that, just kind of steezing up the little layup right there.
Okay, it's clean to now. He's got to finish strong, though.
Oh, spinning that one as well. Flawless so far.
Great run.
greases it top to bottom. That was a big, big line.
Carson Storch doing Carson Storch things right there. And what I'm really looking forward to is seeing that spin off the top drop up there. Nobody doing that in practice, and here we go. First time Carson goes for it here in the run. You see the flag, kind of horizontal, goes a bit deep, a little over rowy, but watch his head. Looks right up to the next feature. All right, I got more work to do. Bring it on.
This one, he'd fallen on it twice in practice. Like, that would have been a bogeyman trick for him. To put it down when it mattered, that was huge. Oh, perfect timing there.
The fact that he can look aggressive yet composed and chill at the same time, that's a
what
great
it's all
balance
about, right?
to strike.
And there was a strong argument to say he didn't need that second three off the drop. He could have laid up there, but he took the risk. He rolled the dice.
He knows who's left to drop at the top.
Yeah. If he even wants to entertain the dream of beating Godziek, he had to lay that down.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he said that he didn't think he deserved the first run, but now he knows
Score.
and he is in first place, even elevating the first run score.
Yeah, so Storch 85.8 there. Clear daylight between him and Louis Reboul. All the pressure now on Szymon Godziek. That 47 means nothing until he finishes this second run and gets a score on the board.
Got this, buddy.
Let's get it.
Rider number 20, Szymon Godziek.
The man on the mission.
He doesn't sound worried at all, right? He
No.
sounds just completely confident.
And he's riding that way.
Yeah, low stress, speed. That is a high-speed bar spin with a heavy front wheel. Looking forward to this, just roasting the corners.
Gorgeous.
Lays that one out.
Yep.
A good way to check up speed right there. Slash the corner, reset. Nice flip variation. First time we've seen someone do a flip can on that step down. And a flip bar. That is, oh, so difficult to do on a pretty much downhill bike with a single crown.
It's just the intensity, isn't it? All of us, I looked across there and everyone's on the edge of their seat.
He is tricking everything.
Taking advantage of every jump.
Yeah, style, tricks. This is the whole package, right? Huge Superman. I think that's the nail in the coffin right there.
It's something struck me there watching all of that. A lot of riders, you've watched them, it looks like they're in the fight of their lives with this course. Godziek has absolutely dominated the course. He's one of the few riders who's looked top to bottom like he's attacking.
He's attacking so hard, and it's easy to forget some of the moves that he did, so why don't we just go back and take a peek at him. You guys all reacted to this. That is not an easy feature to bar spin. You can see the flag was blowing, and like you said, Zink, that's a big bike to do it on.
I think that is almost as technical as it, or will score almost as high as a 360. I think those census scripts have something to do with that right there.
Yeah. You had a good point here, though. Just coming into this section, it was an effective way of scrubbing speed while looking aggressive where he slashed into that bank. But that backflip bar spin, so technical, and you forget about it because he just kept backing it up. So much still took place after that.
Yeah, I mean, you usually see that trick in slopestyle. The wheels are significantly lighter, much lighter tubes because you're not going through rough terrain like this. And they're 26-inch wheels, not 27.5. The flip bar spin and the straight bar spins were huge, especially on a bike like that.
He needs a 38.8. What's it going to be?
45.8. Complete consistency from Godziek. Less than 1.5 points between both runs. A total of 92.8. Szymon Godziek, absolutely emphatic in his victory at the first ever natural selection bike. Carson Storch in second, two very strong runs from him. And then the man who came out of Dream Ticket, Louis Reboul in third. Let's hand it over to Damon. He's down in the corral with Szymon Godziek.
Szymon Godziek moving into first place, dude. You rode so good, so strong. I mean, how do we feel being the first winner of natural selection bike?
Man, yeah, honor. Super happy. I've been working my ass off so hard this week. I was so tired. This thing is exhausting, but I love it, man. It's the best.
You rode so strong all week. I mean, dude, you were just tricking all week. It looked like, I mean, some people were struggling. It looked like it didn't even phase you. So yeah, it's great to see come out on top, and congratulations, dude.
Thanks, dude.
Well, you talked about it, Zing. Like, he is in the form of his life. It's almost like his career has been building to this moment, it feels like.
Absolutely. I mean, you want to peak at the right time, but it's in this sport and a lot of sports, the longer you can drag out that period of peaking, the better. And I think that we're going to see him just in this continuous momentum for a couple years to come, and he's going to be really hard to beat.
And in terms of style, Keilani, we saw riders who were more suited to one run than the other. He looked just as powerful on both of the lines.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I was going to say that. I'm like, I didn't really see a difference. There wasn't like really holding back on either of the runs with Godziak. So, I mean, I think he proved that he kind of deserved the #1 spot.
And you don't get a safety run either, right? Like, it seemed like he knew that he had a good score in the bank, but he couldn't lay up and try to rest on his morals or his first run and just kind of do a tentative second run, right?
Psychologically, that was in everyone's head building up to it, wasn't it?
For sure, and I think it keeps everybody sharp out there, you know, with practice as well. Sometimes you feel like you got enough practice in and you might stop earlier, but everybody was working so hard throughout the entire week knowing you're not going to be perfect on both runs. Even the winning run, you see little things mixed. So it's the more practice you can put in, the better chance you're giving yourself of being able to accomplish this monumental task of 2 clean, trick-packed top-to-bottom runs at Natural Selection by Queenstown.
Well, we saw Carson Storch. He put in a solid fight up against Godziek. But the thing that stood out to me when you're looking down the men's results and the women's, you've got dream ticket qualifiers in 3rd place on the podium in both of them. You mentioned it at the start when you came in. So good seeing a new generation of riders literally kicking down the door.
It's heartwarming. I mean, the kids are all right, and the talent pool is incredibly deep. Right? The top hasn't gained that much, you know, over the last few years. But what I've noticed is the talent pool is just so much more deep and strong, all the way. I mean, there are so many kids that could have potentially won that even, and then the winner of the dream ticket is just, you know, it's on the podium.
Janelle's 19, Finley's 18.
I know. It's like these young guns there, and it's a good point. It's not like a huge gap, but I think there's just more riders that are hungry to be there and that are capable of being there.
Okay, the cat's out of the bag now, Cam. Everyone's seen the course. Everyone's seen what it takes. Second year back, people are they're going to have spent a year visualizing what they're going to do here.
For sure, there's riders who are veterans. A lot of them occupy the top steps of the podium here. And then there's riders who are up-and-comers who, you know, in both the women's and the men's field, that was the case. Even off the podium, Finley, they're in 4th. So Dream Ticket 3rd, Dream Ticket 4th, top 2 in the men's category, Red Bull Rampage veterans with slopestyle backgrounds, right? So we kind of know what we're looking at. This is something that's going to inspire a lot of up-and-coming riders to not just be in the airbags, not just be in the foam bits, throw a leg over a trail bike, go roost some berms, and, you know, an opportunity for some of the veterans to say, I want to be a part of this as well. I want to see Cameron Zink out there doing this. I wanted to see him out there this year. And there's other riders who are hopefully going to look at that and be like, I fit into this, whether those be veterans or up-and-comers.
Yeah, it's a mouth-watering prospect. And don't forget, there's a really clear road there. If you want to come down to New Zealand next January, February, you can get a spot. You work your way in, you get a spot in Dream Ticket, and then you can go to the big show, Natural Selection Bike. Clear route from the amateur leagues right up to the highest levels of the sport. Now, we showed you the surf earlier on. The Natural Selection action continues shortly after Natural Selection Bike with Natural Selection Snow. This is the OG. It's been running for 4 years already, and it goes out live from British Columbia, Revelstoke, between the 10th and 17th of March. Not long to wait at all. Check it out. The best riders, incredible natural terrain. This is Yeti Natural Selection. Expect to see big, heavy-hitting runs.
It's one of the most anticipated duels because of the riders who are involved.
Out of my chest right now. Oh my. Copy. 3, 2, 1. Going up.
Exactly as you've just seen in the bike contest, you pull in all of the best riders from all of the different areas of snowboarding and you put them on one slope in perfect conditions. 2 days of live competition coming up between the 10th and the 17th of March. Join all of the Natural Selection social channels. There's Natural Selection Bike. If you want to join the conversation about what you've seen today, please, we want to hear from you. And then plug into Natural Selection Snow for all of the snowboarding chat and to find out exactly when we're going live exclusively on Reboul TV. After the snowboarding event, though, we've got another live watch party, exactly the same as the one we've had here today for the bike. This time, though, it's for Natural Selection Ski. And these big dogs are up in Alaska.
This is truly made for athletes by athletes.
The highest level backcountry freestyle contest on the planet.
Skiing and creativity in its most authentic form.
It's gonna be way different than any ski contest we've ever seen before. Feels like a dream come true for me, honestly.
They've been looking over the fence for 4 years now. The skiers are so desperate for this one. 8 men, 4 women up in a lodge in the Todrillos in Alaska. Can't wait for that one. Right, that is it for us, team. Final thoughts. What did you make of it, Zink?
I am just happy with how the sport is, man. This is an incredible time for the sport. We all love and we've kind of dedicated our lives to, right? I think that it's indicative of the youth being strong, the development process and cultivating that youth and giving them a path and then a pinnacle, something to reach towards. I mean, we need more events and we need events that are doing it right, like Natural Selection with a unique format. And it's celebrating mountain biking, right? This isn't just kind of hybrid gymnastics or jumping off cliffs and daredevils. This is like true, authentic mountain biking. Its core, people can conceptualize and follow a little bit better. So I'm excited for the future.
Don't you dare lie to me, Keilani, because I looked across and you were on the very edge of your seat during those second runs. You really enjoyed it, didn't you?
It's probably one of my new favorite events to watch. I mean, I love the format. I love, like you said, there's just a diversity with riders. We have so many up-and-coming riders that are showing what the sport is about. And then we have the vets that just keep it going. So I'm just excited for it next year and, yeah, keep it going.
Would we see you in there next year, potentially?
It's very comfortable watching from this couch. I don't know, potentially. I mean, free riding with the women has grown so much, and I think I'm lucky to be a woman and have so many girls that are just there to help and like watch you progress as well. So maybe some more free riding, but I like it here too.
I think Keilani might do it if you do.
There you go.
Sign me up. I'll be healthy.
Cam, I think there's one thing that we have to talk about. It took a long time for people to settle into that course, and we did have a couple of big injuries in the build-up to it. Do you think that we'll see that change now that we've got a year under our belt, moving into year 2?
Well, mountain biking is never going to magically become not dangerous. You know, sit down on the couch and watch bull riding. You know, that's been going on for a long time, but it's still dangerous. But everybody knows what to train for. They wear the appropriate protective gear and they take calculated risks. It's part of our sport. There's a lot of great riders who are out there to ride the competition that didn't make it onto the final run order because of injuries in practice, but they were all still excited to be there and they're looking forward to being there the next time around. And I think that's the most important part, you know, creating this thing to give an opportunity to passionate riders. And that's what we had out there. We had riders who were really excited to be a part of this thing and riders who were excited to get back to the top of that course when the time is right.
And that was showcased. We heard from some of them, like biggest names in the game who've done some of the gnarliest stuff in the game. Carson Storch said it. That took full commitment and dedication.
That's long, right? I mean, it's adding a whole nother element of how long and the mental strain and the physical strain. And like a rampage run, you get tired at the bottom for sure, but it's higher elevation and it's over quicker. It's about a minute, and these runs are 20% more than that or 30% more than that, but rougher too. Like there's a lot more like traditional downhill riding in it that's strenuous, and it's going to cultivate a whole different style rider. If someone is planning out their career and mapping out their future of what they want to be the end goal, if they're looking at Natural Selection as the end goal, they're going to plan accordingly, and you're going to see a lot more people riding advanced trails, essentially like the biggest pro lines they can find, mixed with the technical side to the jumps and everywhere in between.
That is a mouth-watering prospect.
I think the best part about that is that's what we all want to ride anyways. You know? Like
I don't want to
mountain
train
biking.
in a foam pit and just do gymnastics all day. I want to just go mountain biking, right? Finley is indicative of that as well. Like, he is just showing, this is what I want to do. I'm doing what I want to do, and it happens to be good enough to be almost on the podium in natural selection.
Okay, well, one last chance now. You've seen it throughout the broadcast, but we've got that Trek /9 over the back there. If you want to win it, get on this QR code, scan it now, put in your details, and you will be in the draw. I'm hearing in my ear that we can send it anywhere in the world. So it doesn't matter where you're watching from. Scan this QR code now and get yourself a Trek /9. And then up behind me, if you take a look over my right shoulder, you'll be able to see that beautiful Mike Perillo fine art print. This is an absolute work of art. I'll lean that way. There we go. And it's got all the signatures along the bottom. Quick, scan this QR code now, and that will take you to the Natural Selection site, and you can invest in a piece of mountain bike history. The event poster from the first ever Natural Selection bike. Okay, take a breath, people. The adrenaline's seeping out a little bit. You all good?
We're here.
Okay, thank you all so much for supporting Natural Selection Bike, to all of our sponsors, to all of the crews, to the film crew out there, and of course to the riders who threw down for us. It's been a huge event. We're going to leave you with a recap of the day's best hits. See you next time.
Dude, that was freaking. You're insane. That's what I'm talking about.
Let's go! So synchronized.